Okay, it's not muted this time.
Thanks, Christian, by the way.
Jesus.
Appreciated very much.
It does this all the time. I hate it. Anyway, let's try this again.
You don't have to reshare.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Try it's the same.
No, it's not.
Try you really please don't share.
This is YouTube.
What?
YouTube doesn't work the way you think it does.
That's so dumb.
I
you
wish
have to reshare. Just
yes.
delete the old one then. Delete the old message.
I will delete the old one.
That's so dumb.
I disliked my own video. Okay.
Dislike. Boo.
Because I'm mad. That was really stupid. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna repost this. I hate me. I'm not gonna say everyone again, so I don't want to ping everyone. But
Yeah. They're just post the new one. Post
the new one.
and delete the old one.
Someone has to teach the boy how to live.
How to live.
Okay, all right. Now we're going. Wow, we back at it again.
Okay, go to
Christian.
the thing. We're doing.
It's not muted.
We're doing multicolored and colorless today.
Okay, all right. Let's go. Okay, so now, multicolored and colorless cards. That's artifacts and lands. Let's jump into it. Holy crap. So, Iname's one was 8 black, green for an 8/8 legendary creature spirit. 12 mana. This better be good. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you may search your library for a spirit card and put it into play.
Just one?
Just one? You just get one? When it dies, you may exile it. If you do, return a spirit card from your graveyard to play.
Just one?
Just one.
It's an 8/8, but like...
For 12 mana? This card's bad. This card's doo-doo water.
It's not doo-doo water. Unplayable.
Unplayable. What are they doing?
Now we made it into slightly less. It is 6 black, green, so 10 mana for an 8/8. It gets flying and trample, just like it looks like it has flying, and it looks like it has trample too.
Yeah, so it's like we're mixing the other Inames together, so why don't we get their abilities, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have...
I know, but that's what I'm saying, because I gave them flying and
Yeah,
trample.
mixed them. Okay. Yeah. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for up to 2 spirit cards and cast them without paying the mana cost. Yeah, not 1. Iname has 2.
Iname has 2.
When Iname has 2 dies, you may exile it. If you do, you may cast up to 2 target spirit cards from your graveyard without paying the mana cost. We just made it bigger and better, baby.
One's not enough. One's not enough.
I actually totally forgot this did 2. I was making the 1 joke without remembering, but it got 2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this card's also not that great, but the best part about it in this format is that we can cheat it. So it gets its dies effect if you cheat it. And a lot of our cheating effects also make sure they die real soon.
Yep.
So it die, exile, and then reanimate 2 guys from our graveyard without paying their mana costs.
Or you can cast instant or sorceries that are spirits as well. It says cast, so...
Yeah. So we can pull things from our graveyard for free and do it. You can ramp into this too. So
That's
this will be playable in the ramp deck and great in the cheats deck, I think.
Yep, that's the idea. Just a reminder, you don't get the first effect if you cheated it.
Right, that's why I was saying
but
only
it's still going to be good.
It's
still going to be good if you cheat it. Yeah, next card. Genji of the Realm, you was a white, blue, black, green, and red. Well, I flipped those last 2. Legendary enchant land that
You're a Wilburger? You're a Wilburger?
You want to fight? You could pay 2, and an enchanted land would become a legendary 8/12 spirit creature with trample until end of turn. It's still a land, so just trample.
But it's an 8/12, Johnny.
Oh, but whenever this land would be put into a graveyard, return the Genji to your hand.
So I actually think this card's probably good, by the way, if you could do it.
If you could do it.
Just make sure you do it. I don't know how to make sure you do it, but...
Mana ramp was mana fixing was not good back then.
Was it not even possible? Like, you had...
No, it's not that it wasn't possible.
Seek the Horizon goes and gets you 3 of these colors, Johnny.
That's true. And
I think you got this. I think you can build decks Unlimited with this and bonk people. Like, freaking bonk them.
Kodama's Reach?
Yeah, so... that's 2 colors at once. Dude, I think you can... I'm not even kidding. I think Genji of the Realm was probably, like, a limited playable. Like, and whenever you did it, you just got them.
8/12 trample, they're good.
For not even that expensive. Like
you're right and wrong. You know what I mean?
No,
so anyway, let's
I don't know
move
what you
on.
mean. Now it is 2 in a Wilburg, which is white, blue, black, red, green.
Sorry.
And it's an enchant permanent you control legendary enchantment aura. Enchanted permanent loses all abilities and is a legendary 8/12 spirit creature that is all flyers with all colors with lifelink, flying, vigilance, trample, first strike.
You kind of just like, it's fine.
And whenever it dies, return it to its owner's hand. Whenever enchanted permanent dies, return it to its owner's hand. So the Genji won't come back, but the thing you enchant will. If you put it on like a land, like you used to, the land will come back and it won't be special. If you put it on a creature, you can re-get the creature. This is going to be a lot worse than the old version, I think.
What do you mean? It has Vigilance, Lifelink, Flying, and First Strike as well.
Yeah, but they can kill the creature.
What?
The old one they couldn't kill.
No.
When they killed the old one, you got the Genji back.
I bet I could have taken off the 2 extra mana, but it was like all of them were like that, where I took the activated ability and
put it up there.
Cost.
Yeah,
it probably could have been just Wooburg, but then I'm like,
it'd be
5
really
mana
scary.
for that big of a creature? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this is probably about where you should put it, and I still don't think it's very good.
I think it's a meme, is really what it is.
Yeah.
But do it if you can, please. Yeah. It's a fun meme. We love memes.
Yeah. We do like memes around here.
Okay.
Try it.
Try it, please.
That was it. What?
There were only 2
multicolors. Because the multicolors we already did in the other colors.
So there are more multicolors in the set.
We just already showed you.
But we already showed you because they were originally monocolored, and I switched them into multicolored, so we saw them in the monocolored section.
Yeah.
All right. First card in the artifacts is Ashes of the Fallen. It costs 2 for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, or as it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type, and all creature cards in your graveyard have that creature type. It's really cute. Like, Nate, I can get all of my creatures back with Soul Shift.
Yeah.
Because they're all spirits now.
I mean, some of them you change to spirits anyways, you dummy.
What are you
No, but yeah, this does that. That's about all it does.
Oh, this turns on the Kanushi. It turns the Kanushi into a spirit so you can loop. You just needed this card.
That's all you needed to do.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It looks very odd and bad, and I'm sure there's some cool EDH combos with it. Instead, now we made it into a 3-mana artifact that has 4 tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a token copy of that creature. It gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step, activate this only as a sorcery. Alright, so it's just
Whip of Erebos.
Just Whip of Erebosing people. It's I mean, it's cool.
Costs 1 less, not black mana, but doesn't give lifelink.
Yeah, I think this card's not good at all. It has uses.
You trying to fight me?
Has uses for the cheats deck, and that's the main reason I think you want to play it.
Yeah.
But it's hard, I think. I think it's hard to get your cards that you want to cheat into your graveyard unless you're like really messing with it.
Well, it could also just be a decent value card in the way that I mean, it's expensive for sure.
Yeah.
But it could be a decent value card in the way that Whip was, where you have ETBs and dice triggers that you're really looking for.
Whip has never been good in cubes. I don't know. Like, every cube I've ever played, Whip is like really bad.
That's good to know. All right, well, maybe this card isn't good, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And it also cheats, of course, because you can Genju. I mean, not Genju. You can Myojin with it.
Yeah, you can Myojin with it and use its ability beforehand. I think that's where you'll try to use this if you can at all. Mm-hmm. But I think that's also difficult. Like, I don't remember how much discard of our own we had for cheats, unless you're having like a discard deck with cheats on the top.
It's going to be red or black that has a lot of the discard.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, that's where some of the cheats are. So
there's a couple mill cards, but not a ton.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, next card. Baku Alter was 2 for an artifact that whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, put a key counter on it, and you can pay 2 tap, remove a key counter to make a 1/1. Spirit, 1/1 spirit.
Honestly, pretty good.
Yeah,
for the time.
Yeah, for the time, it seems pretty good.
It's a lot of mana, but like
nowadays, the thing to know about this now, if it said 2 and it was 2 tap, make it 2/2 or make a 1/1, that's a pretty good card in limited.
Exactly.
But
so this is sometimes that.
It's only sometimes that because you do first need to be casting spells.
Right.
That put the counters on.
Right, so that makes it significantly worse, obviously. So this is probably playable in limited, is where I put it at that in that limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it is instead 2 artifact. Whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, put a key counter on it. 1 tap, remove a key counter from it to make a 1/1. Obviously, got a lot better, mostly from the reveal portion. Them lessening on the mana cost is very nice as well.
You're going to get key counters more often than you used to.
This is mostly going in the honor decks, I think.
I think so too.
Yep.
As long as your honor deck can trigger it or can give it enough key counters, it's going to be awesome to just go 1, make a 1/1, 1, make a 1/1 every turn. So.
I know most of the honor cards aren't spirits, so that's kind of actually rough. Figure that out.
Most of the honor cards aren't, but a lot of the token making cards are.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you're gonna have to like fix those
weave them together. Yeah. It's not flavorful, but I don't. What? Is it what? Anyway. Weaving the honor cards and.
The spirits and non-spirits fighting together.
That's weird. Blinding Powder used to be 1 for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has unattached Blinding Powder and prevent all combat damage to be dealt to this creature this turn. It has equipped for 2.
Really awkward card that has some interesting implications, but it's another one that causes things to not happen that you think will happen.
Right, it's an on-board, prevent fog thing. It's nonsense a little bit.
It's less not full nonsense, yeah.
It's less nonsense because they will make it happen to make you keep paying mana.
Yeah, but it's just awkward.
Yeah.
Now we have 1 mana for an equipment, has equip 2, and equipped creature has +1/+1, and tap return this creature to its owner's hand. I mostly like this for the +1/+1. The return to its owner's hand is also useful, though.
It's useful,
good on blocks,
super
and
slow.
also, yeah, it's super slow because you have to recast your whole creature again and equip again to be able to try to keep this going in a loop to be able to do your extra ETBs and stuff. So it's rough.
It's repeatable return to your hand, but you have to tap it again, and it's just a...
I would be very close to rating this unplayable.
That's fair. It gets +1/+1, Nate. You gotta understand.
For 1 and 2. If it was 1 and 1, that's great.
It's really good with blocking, okay? Imagine this, right?
I'm imagining.
I'm glad you're imagining. So, just play this on turn 1. It's not about the tempo, but think about that. You play your Wandering one, draw your card. Turn 3, equip it. Now it's a 2/2, and you can... But it doesn't matter if it's 2/2, because you can block,
bounce,
tap it, bounce it.
That's when it's good. You're right.
Yeah, anyway, continuing.
That's your best case scenario for this card. Great.
Clearly, Blood Clock is 4 for an artifact. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player returns a permanent he or she controls to its owner's hand unless they pay 2 life.
You know the thing about this card?
What?
It's a reprint.
What?
With a different name. There have been 2 separate cards with this exact rules text.
No, what's the other one?
I don't know the name of it. Do you want to find it? We can for no good reason.
Christ.
I'm not going to right now. But they actually made a card like this like forever ago. Like maybe it wasn't Chronicles, but it was a little later than that.
Did they forget or something?
I feel like they had to have.
Oh my god.
Because this effect isn't good.
This is bad.
Yeah, this effect is absolute trash. It's so stupid. I cannot believe they made 2 cards with that exact same effect. It's unreal.
It's crazy.
All right, so now Blood Clock is 4 artifact. Tap. Each player returns a non-land permanent they control to its owner's hand unless they pay 3 life. Pretty similar effect. Doesn't happen in the upkeep. And it's non-land is the big one. Yeah, that's the big help. But it does also affect us. So you have to be playing this in a deck that wants to either have honor triggers or ETBs they really like. Another card I don't think will get any play. But, you want to try this and prove me wrong. Play the Blinding Cloud or Blood Clock deck. I believe.
I'm going to prove you wrong. It's going to be the dirtiest piece of shit. I'm going to play 60 cards because it's so dirty.
Where's your Yorion? You won't find it. Because it's not in the set.
I'll put Yorion in anyway, just for me, because I designed it, so no one can tell me.
There's a Yorion in there, too. I forgot to tell you, Nate.
Yeah, it just kind of got slipped into my pack. I mean, it was already in my pack whenever I opened it.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. Ebony Owl Netsuke used to be a 2-mana artifact at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that player has 7 or more cards in hand, this deals 4 damage to them. This was a constructed card.
Yeah, this is a really cool constructed
card. The best
card.
deck in its constructed whenever this was like a new thing.
Yeah, this is also something I think would have been interesting to try to use in Limited to fight the Big Hands deck, but I don't think it would have worked.
I don't think
it's just too easy to combat it.
Was the Big Hand deck at 7 cards?
Right, exactly. It really wasn't. It was just big, and you'd sit at 7 on your turn, and then fight, and then play a spell on you, and so you'd be down to 6 by the end of your turn. So who cares? Like, yeah. It does its job in that constructed format somehow.
Yeah, because it's just everyone just drawing too many cards to play them, and things were too slow. Oh no, we got killed!
We got killed?
Sorry, we got a subscriber.
Oh!
Sorry, I just have those, like... it's my notification.
It's a pretty cool notification.
I love it so much.
Oh, man. Kill!
It's my favorite.
It's a good one. It's a really good
one.
Holy shit.
The redesign.
Alright, the redesign is 2... For an artifact, whenever a player discards a card or sacrifices a permanent, that's you or your opponent doing that, put a key counter on Ebony Owl Netsuke. 2 tap, remove 2 key counters from it, exile a top card of each library. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were any type of mana to cast spells this way. Alright, so we're going to be able to do it with both? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're exiling their top library and our top library when we do it. Remove 2 key counters and pay 2 mana to kind of draw 2 cards. Okay, you may play those cards. You can also play lands off of this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so this card's really good in the Sacrifice to Discard deck, I think. Yeah. Like, really, really good. It doesn't work until the mid to late game. Right. Probably more the late game, but it's really good then.
You got to get 2 counters before you can do it, and then you pay 2 mana, remove those 2 counters.
Yeah, you just slam this early, do your mid-game stuff of discarding and sacrificing and doing stuff, and then once you get to, like, turn 6, activate this and start going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good payoff for the discard sacrifice.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yep. Next card is General's Kabuto, which is 4 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature can't be the target of spells or abilities, which is Shroud. And prevent all combat damage will be dealt to equipped creature. Has equipped 2.
Oh, man. Okay, I guess, right?
If you put this on, like, any, like, okay-sized creature, it's just, like, there forever. And, like, it's more blocking good cards. And
yeah, it's a good blocking card. Is this an attacking card at all?
No, it's not unless your creatures are of equal size.
Oh, it's only equipped 2, so it's an attacking card because you attack with something with this on it, so they can't block because it won't kill it because their only options are to trade or let their guy die. And then yeah, that's the problem. Is once they have a bigger creature, then you suck. But if you don't, if they only have equal sized creatures, you attack and then you re-equip to your other creature post combat. That's pretty good. But yeah. So now it is 4 mana with equip 4 artifact equipment. Equipped creature has +4/+4 and hexproof from instants. Okay. Good +4/+4. 1, until end of turn, prevent all combat damage to be dealt to the equipped creature. So it's the same thing on that part.
It is. Yeah,
so it's not that different. So this is better at attacking because it can do both.
Better attacking and more mana investment.
But it's worse at attacking as well because it's not attack and block unless you have a lot of mana. But
and also, it doesn't have Shroud. It just has hexproof from instants specifically.
Yeah, which is... I mean, most of the good removal is going to be instants that people are going to play, so that's nice, but it doesn't stop all of it. You know?
Yeah, there's plenty of other ways to deal with it that is not that. So
yeah, it narrows the amount of ways to deal with it.
Very important to me that it wasn't blocking out all
ways to deal.
Ways to deal with it. But it was still like, oh, okay, I'll give it a decent, you're investing 8 mana for the first
I feel like this card is hard to play. I think it's one of your investments in the ramp deck, actually. I think that in the ramp deck this is good, and you put it on your 3/2s and your guys, and you're just like, all right, baby, let's smash.
Okay, yeah. Ooh.
It's right, good, baby. Dude. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been told that I look a lot like him many times.
I mean, I can see it. Your hair's a little bit lighter, though. His is black.
His is black, yeah.
I see it. I see what they're saying.
Yeah, I see what they're saying.
You guys have very similar hair texture. So, All right, next, Hair Strung Kodo is 6 mana for an artifact that is tap an untapped creature you control. Target player mills a card.
It's 6 mana.
That is 6 mana.
That's a lot of mana.
Now,
that doesn't even do anything until you invest more things, like tapping your creatures.
Tapping creatures. Now, in limited, repeatable mill, especially if it doesn't cost you more mana, is the effect. Now, the 6 mana is way too much. But what I'm saying is, if you're playing a crazy defensive deck, this card was probably decent in some deck that just had some defensive creatures and was playing the other strategy of do nothing
that's the
forever.
Main plan, I think,
so you actually were like, okay,
that's 6 mana,
you're going to die.
Also,
her hand's bleeding.
Yeah, I was going to say, why does hair make your hand bleed? Hair is not sharp, is it?
I'm not really sure what's going on there. Yeah. Although, I think it is.
Is it?
I think...
Hair is sharp for that purpose?
Yeah. Sharper than coiled metal.
Yeah,
because coiled metal's kind of.
What do you usually use to string these in the olden days before coiled metal was the main?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. Well, she's bleeding.
She do be bleeding.
All right, now we got it 5 mana artifact. Tap an untapped artifact or creature you control. Target player builds a card. So this is the same idea, but at least it can tap itself to do things.
What
and
other
it only
artifacts
costs 5
you
mana.
have?
Yeah, because you've got other artifacts, including equipment that don't need to tap for anything else.
Yeah.
So they'll tap for this.
It's the same exact purpose as before, just made it a little better.
Yeah, it's a slow deck, has a way to win. Cool. We got lots of good blocking. We got much less good blocking than then, so I think this card's actually worse, which is crazy because it obviously is in a vacuum much better.
We have creatures with stats that are better for blocking than back then. For the actual defensive cards, full-on defensive cards.
Yeah.
In blue has a lot.
Yeah,
of
things that'll make your opponent not want to attack kind of deals. This might be this mill deck that you've kind of put together. You only have a few cards for it, but it might be playable.
Yeah, a lot of the mill cards that would be put in the mill deck. You don't need a lot of mill cards for it to work. So mostly it'll be a defensive deck that wins by milling, not that has a ton of
mill as a way to win.
Yeah, one of the ways to win. Yeah, for sure. Not that this is very good, but it could be a card you put in that deck.
Right.
Hankyu is 1 for an artifact equipment. Equipped for 4. No, not me. Equipped creature has tap, put an aim counter on this, and tap, remove all aim counters. It deals it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of counters removed. So tap it as many times to build up counters. You're slowly aiming, and then you can tap to remove them all to release it.
I was thinking we were adding another arrow. Somebody's handing me another arrow, and they're all here.
Just this stack of arrows.
And then eventually you let go.
And then I gotta pay 4 more mana to start putting more arrows on. You should.
So the Hankyu's awful, by the way, just because of the equip 4.
It's way too much mana, and it's so slow.
Yeah. Takes a long time to build up counters on it, and then eventually you throw them, and it feels like you wasted your whole life.
Yeah.
You have to have creatures that aren't going to die. I don't know. So this is now 1 mana to cast, 3 mana to equip. Equipped creature has X tap, put X plus 1 aim counters on Hankyu. So you can still just tap it for a counter, or you can put some mana into it as well and put more counters on it. And then tap, remove all aim counters from Hankyu. This creature deals damage to any target equal to the number of aim counters removed. Alright. That is so very similar, but we're allowed to put mana into it instead, and it only costs 3 to equip. I expect this card to be actually significantly better than the old one. I'm not sure how good. I still don't think it's a good card.
Right.
Just it's so much investment still. But I think it is maybe playable, you know? There are times... Because it does kill many things over time. Like, over time, you can just...
Super slowly.
Shmang. But it takes you
like... my favorite.
It takes you like 3 turns to shmar something, though.
Yeah, that's true. But when you do it, you'll be like, at least I did it.
At least I shmarred.
Yeah, you got to shmar. Alright, this one is Honor-Worn Shaku, which is 3 for an artifact that is tap. Add 1 to your mana pool. And you can tap an untapped legendary permanent you control to untap this. So it's like you're turning your legendary permanents into mana.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think this card's sweet in that limited, especially like because you needed a lot of mana to do anything anyways. So you'd be able to play your 5-drop on 4, and then your 5-drop was a legend. Oh, nice. All right, I can play like 7-drop on 5. Yeah. Like badam.
I can play that 7-mana 4/4 flyer that gains me life sometimes. Dude, we did it.
Or the 7-mana 4/4 Soul Shift.
I'm not hearing that.
Okay, Honor-Worn Shaku is now a 3-mana artifact that taps for 1 mana of any color, and legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So it still works in the same type of deck, but it actually fixes your mana, thank goodness.
Which is really important.
And without having to have legends in play, you can make legends very cheap. Yep. So you can go play this on 3, and on turn 4 you're playing a 6-cost legend. Mm-hmm. That's really strong.
That's a dragon.
Yeah, that's a dragon, baby. Yeah. Those are 6-cost legends. I'm sure if you knew that. It's great. Yeah. This card should be playable. That's all I'm going to call it because I'm not sure yet, but definitely good in the ramp deck. Other decks I'm not certain.
The 4 or 5 color deck, which is also a ramp deck, but
that deck.
Yep.
All right, is separate from the big cards deck.
Exactly. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Imi Statue is 3 for an artifact that players can't untap more than 1 artifact during their untap steps.
Whoa, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no, this card's nonsense.
Ooh, baby, that doesn't do anything.
Ignoring it.
All right, new Imi Statue is 3 for a 1/5 artifact creature construct, Defender. All creatures lose Flying, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Death Proof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. So it blocks, makes sure people aren't getting through, and then it's like, hey, your creatures suck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's all it does, and that's fine, honestly. It's a blocker. I wish I had Reach, but it removes Reach, so it can't get it.
It doesn't need Reach. Why would it need Reach?
It wants to block. Oh, it does. It has Reach. It
doesn't need
Reach. It has Reach. It does have Reach.
It has Reach. So do your other creatures, too.
Yeah, I'm brain dead. Okay, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blocks for goodness.
For goodness sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gives all your creatures Reach. That's what it does, dude. Gives all your creatures... That's the text down here.
First Strike.
All your creatures have Reach. It does not give them First Strike.
Yes, it does.
How?
If they lose First Strike, we're attacking at the same. We're getting it at the same time. So we have First Strike too.
Only if they had First Strike in the first place. It doesn't give our creatures First Strike against their non-First Strikers. Johnny.
Right. Damn it. It's so close. They don't lose Venom though, because this text is the Odric text.
Yeah.
So they do not lose Venom. So keep that in mind, because it's a unique ability to this.
I think Ward would go on here as well, or something maybe.
They don't have that on him either, so no.
Well, Odric didn't have, Ward is common yet.
Ward, Odric, the Blood Cursed, also doesn't have Ward.
Oh, okay.
So.
Sure.
Alright, next one is Ivory Crane Nitsuki, which is the...
opposite of the owl.
And it's 2 for an artifact at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 7 or more cards in hand, gain 4 life. Much worse than the other one.
Yeah, gaining life sucks. Dealing 4 damage is awesome.
Sounds way cooler.
So, how the other one was good for the sacrifice and discard deck, this one's good for a different deck. 2 mana for an artifact. Whenever a player draws a card outside of their draw step, or returns a permanent from the battlefield to their hand, put a key counter on Ivory Crane Nitsuki.
Do you want to wait till you can talk?
I'm done.
Oh, nice.
Tap. Remove X key counters from Ivory Crane Nitsuki. Add X colorless to your mana pool. So, this one is good for the kind of things where you're going to be doing honor and returning things to your hand, mostly. What do you call it? A sweep and Moonfolk. Those two cards.
Sweep, forecast.
Yeah.
Drawing lots of cards because there's a bunch of draw card spells as well. And it could be good with the Splice, where you're splicing cards that draw cards slowly, not trying to do combo-y splice like with red, but more like with white and blue.
I think even with the red-blue combo splice is going to be good with this Ivory Crane Netsuke.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy.
Making that mana is going to be great for that.
Yeah, exactly. You need the mana is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The mana is a lot less strong, I think, than the drawing cards that's on the Ivory Owl.
Yeah.
Or Ebony Owl. So I think that card's better. But this card can do a fair amount. This card looks a lot like, but it looks like a lot worse version of Spell Satchel. I don't know if you ever played with Spell Satchel.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that card was actually good, which was so surprising to me. So I think this card will be slightly worse than that, and therefore playable.
Yeah, and I think what's happening here too is your opponent's more likely to draw cards outside of their draw step than the other one they're likely to trigger for their side.
Oh,
so
the sacrifice or discard.
Your opponent's more likely to put counters on this than the other one.
For you, yeah.
For you. And also, you're not putting an investment of more mana to get things. You just can make mana, but obviously it's only colorless mana.
Oh, dude, your opponent is going to be triggering this for you a lot with, like, Sweep and Moonfolk as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Anyway, next card. Jade Idol was a 4-mana artifact that whenever you play a Spirit Arcane spell, becomes a 4/4 until end of turn. Cool. Good to know.
What? It's a 4-mana 4/4. You wish?
You wish. You wish.
All right, now it is a 3-mana artifact. It has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, you can have it become a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn. Yeah, I like this card a lot.
Good tempo.
Yeah, really good tempo. I like this to be a 4/4 on turn 4 attacking, and then like
otherwise make a 5 cost.
Yeah, you can use it for mana. No matter what's going on here, your tempo should be pretty good. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, should play well.
It should, yes.
I don't think you only want it for the ramp deck or mana.
No, that's why I didn't say that. I would have said that if that was the case. I think this is just good in any deck that can trigger it. And I think that's the only thing I would say. Yes, any deck that can trigger it on a somewhat reliable.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm just showing both because it didn't change it.
Journeyer's Kite, yeah.
Journeyer's Kite was 2 mana for an artifact. That's 3 tap. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library.
This is good for the slow discard decks. This will be good for the ramp decks, sort of.
Sort of. It's good for hand size.
For multicolored fixing decks.
This
isn't a good deck. This isn't
not
a good
great
card in my mind.
But I liked the design, and this card did see play. And did the newer version that flipped into a better card also saw play.
Yep.
I think it's interesting because this text is relevant in this format, but it is kind of weak. So maybe you don't play it, or maybe you do. I don't know how much time you'll have to be fiddling around like this.
Yeah, if you have a lot of time to fiddle around, it's great because you're going to thin your deck hard. You're going to be able to actually have the mana to do everything. It gives you more mana to play your other spells, so you can still have mana for both Journeyer's Kite and another spell. It's just really slow.
Yeah. Next card is Junkyo Bell, which is 4 mana for an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have target creature you control get +X until turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. If you do, sacrifice that creature at the end of turn.
Yeah. Okay, so what? Like you make a big guy big,
but then he dies.
No trample, no nothing.
No,
and you're just like, kill him.
And you lose him. So the next time they'll be smaller.
And it can only hit your own guys. So it's not like a kill spell because that'd be insane.
Yeah, that would be insane. So we don't like this.
Yeah, the card's terrible.
It's
Holy
not
crap!
playable at all.
Junkyo Bell now is 4 mana for an artifact. Tap. Target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is number of creatures you control. Activate only the sorcery. So it's the pump part without the sack part.
Yep.
We like that. That's not so bad. It also
you can untap it. Oh.
Dude, you untap it with a patron of the Orochi. Oh.
That's bad.
Yeah. Can you use it in your second main phase? Oh.
I was thinking like the blue cards that like tap or untap target permanent.
Oh, I forgot about those. Blue was so long ago.
Blue was a really long time ago.
But either way, this card does seem pretty okay.
Go wide and
in the heavy honor go wide deck.
Start abyssing.
Only as a sorcery is pretty rough because like you can't use it as blocks, but that's sometimes okay.
So here's the problem I would have with it being an instant, not just with blocks, but I swing with my big wide board and you just die instantly.
Yeah, you just die.
That just doesn't feel good.
That. Yeah, I agree. I'm not trying to say doing it as an instant would be a good idea.
I agree. I didn't think you were saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's just being a sorcery sucks. Like it hurts a lot.
Makes it a lot
worse. Power of the level of the card.
Yeah, I think the point here is to turn your wide board that's tiny into abyss.
So if you can, or you can give an evasive creature pumps if you got them.
Yeah, and that's good too.
It's just gonna be tough to do. I think most of the time Junkyo Bell can't go into your deck. Okay. The vast majority of the time.
I'm thinking if you play this go wide deck, right? but you do not have like top end like powerhouses.
Yeah, this is your top end.
Okay, I'll do this instead.
Yeah, for sure.
Next card is Kanda's Banner, which is 2 mana for a legendary artifact equipment that is equipped to. Kanda's Banner can only be attached to legendary creatures. Creatures that share a color with the equipped creature get +1/+1, and creatures that share a type with it get +1/+1. Technically, that includes itself too, which is really weird.
Color? With
so
this.
It gets +2/+2.
And type. Whoa.
I hate that this. There's a reason they stopped doing wordings like this because
it's hard
it
to
is
see
not
it.
obvious that it gives itself +2/+2.
Yeah, but it only goes to Legends. That's the problem here.
Oh yeah,
hard to play. If you got lots of Legends, it's
this
fine.
card's straight
actually.
up not good.
Dude, I think if you got the Legends, it's fine.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Instead, it is now 3 with equip 3, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Other creatures you control that share a color with equipped creature get +1/+1. Other creatures you control that share a creature type with equipped creature get +1/+1. So just remove the requirement for the legendary creature and made it cost 3 to cast and equip, and that's all it actually did mechanically.
Yeah, mechanically that's all that's changed.
Yeah, like I said with that one, I think that one was pretty good. This one I think is slightly worse.
Mm-hmm.
But that one could only go to Legends. This can go to anybody. Yeah, this is probably a good card actually. +2/+2 for the equip 3 is not crazy bad, and the board pump is really good.
I think this
is really good in the go wide.
I was about to say, I was like, the sneaky is really good in the go wide deck.
Yeah, it's really good in that deck, and I think it's playable in any other like creatures deck, like straight up playable.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fine card. I think I like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how often I'll play it.
I wanted to make these equipment for the most part good. Like,
I'm not sure how often I'll play in those decks, but I think it's playable.
So now you're gonna play your Disenchants. All right. Kusarigama is 3 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has 2. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I forgot it had that text. It has equipped 3, by the way. Whenever equipped creature deals combat or deals damage to a blocking creature, Kusarigama deals that much damage to each other creature that defending player controls.
Whew! It hits them all.
It's like a board wipe, dude. This card's sick.
Especially because they go block, and you're like, oh, you're gonna block. Mana.
Yeah, or they don't block and you just go, okay, now I kill
mana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kusarigama is a cool card. It's a lot of mana.
But they're not going to block, is the thing.
Yeah, it's also a lot of mana.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that it's another one of those. It has so much text that says, hey, this is never happening.
Yeah. No, they're just not blocking whenever you...
It doesn't do what it says it does. It says, don't block this.
Let me just go ahead and blink that in and out over and over again.
Thanks, I guess. I don't know. And now it's instead, it's 3 mana to cast, 3 mana to equip as well. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, it deals 2 damage to target creature defending player controls. Also very strong in a very different way. I don't think I'm ever playing this card, actually.
I think it's more proactive. Makes more sense.
It's just too expensive for this effect, I think.
Maybe. I think it's good. I think this card's pretty good. And I think I would play it.
It's good with first strikers.
Yeah, but I understand why maybe... Because if your opponent isn't playing, like, the same level of strategy you are, they're playing big creatures or very little creatures, this card is not as good.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I do think the effect is incredible.
Like, this is great against 2/2s. There's not very many 2/2s people are going to play.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're right. But I think the effect is very strong, so maybe you'll know that whether you want it. I think it'll come down to either it becomes a sideboard card because it's only good when you know it'll be good, or the format, the way it plays out, ends up that this is generally better than it is not good. You know, like more often good than it.
Okay, we'll see. I feel like this is probably not playable, sadly.
I think that's fair, though. That's fair. Long Forgotten Gohei was a 3 mana artifact that arcane spells you play cost 1 less, and spirits you control get +1/+1.
It does the arcanes and spirits things in 2 different directions. It's honestly not trash.
No, it's
just
it's a board pump for your spirits. That's already pretty decent.
And the arcane cheapening is just like bonus, and it's not it's not nothing bonus. It's something.
Yeah.
Now it is 3 mana spirits you control get +1/+1. Tap. Add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this only to cast spirit spells or to activate the abilities of spirit cards. So it does also play into the arcane because we changed those to spirit spells. So we tap it for mana for those, and that's this card's really good. I think since it also works for activated abilities, you can use it to do the splicing. Yep, the splicing on it, and I think this card will be quite good for as a mana rock more, because all of your creatures being spirits is unlikely, and enough of them for this board pump to be worth it on its own may not be that high.
Right.
We'll see. But I mostly think you'll play this for the mana rock side.
Yep, I agree. Next card is Mariko Guzari, 2 mana for 1 equip artifact. Well, I do that in a weird order. Equip creature has +1/+2 and tap destroy target equipment.
Recently, a card in Modern.
Yep, because you can get it with your Stoneforge Mystic and kill your opponent's equipments.
And one of the best decks in Modern is a very heavy equipment deck right now, Hammer Time. And you play it in that deck for the mirror.
And it's so cheap. Like, it's just like 1 mana to equip, and then the creature just taps to destroy equipment.
And the equipment are so important in that deck, just killing any of them just to tap, and you don't have to like try any more investment. You can do it again next turn even.
I just don't
like.
I don't know why this needed to be so powerful. Is what's weird to me. Like, I'm glad that it's powerful enough to see play and constructed because of the design.
Yeah.
But if I was designing the set, I don't get why you would just be like, now I put very little investment to completely invalidate your equipment, or this card's bad.
The crazy part about this is 2 mana and equip 1 for +1/+2 is at rate.
That's at rate. Yeah, that's already good. Like,
that's the thing we would do. We would pay for that.
Yeah, so...
so adding the tap destroy... It could be like tap, sacrifice Mariko Guzari, destroy target equipment. That'd be sweet.
That makes sense.
I would like that.
I'd like that.
But obviously that's not what a Mariko Guzari does, so that's not what they did. Right. It is now 2 mana, equip 2, equip creature gets +2/+2, and X, tap, destroy target equipment with mana value X. Alright, it's the same idea, but it costs us mana now. Thank goodness.
So what's happening here...
It's stronger, actually.
Is think of the fact that we just said 2 mana and then equip 1, +1/+2 was at rate, and you would play that. I'm thinking of that here too. But what I'm doing is I'm saying, here's equipment. It's 2 mana for 2 to play, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+2. That's generally why you're playing this card.
It's that right, yep.
And then I'm keeping the Mariko Guzari text, but making it less nonsensical.
Like making it less, hey, guess I just blew you up, baby.
I just completely destroyed your tempo and you lose the game now, probably.
I have to use all my mana to make sure I kill your thing.
Yeah.
The same amount of mana you spent on it, I will also have to spend and tap my guy.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat more reasonable.
Yep.
I still think this card is very strong.
Yes.
Yeah, you're playing this in every deck.
Every deck?
Every deck with creatures.
That's crazy, dude.
Every deck with creatures.
I think you're playing in every deck that plans to win over the course of the earlier turns with their creatures, not when you're going late game.
You're not playing this in the hyper ramp decks most of the time. You're still playing it in some of those decks. Like
it's good.
You're playing this in almost every deck.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not picking this highly. It's not crazy card. You're just always playing it. It's one of those.
That's true. Yeah, you'll never feel bad when you play this unless you just don't have creatures.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? I think you're really gonna like this in token decks actually, just because you're just like.
Oh yeah. You're board stalled with your 2/2 with your 1/1 tokens, and they're full with 3/3s. Okay, this one's a 3/3. Attack you with it, and then you're like trade. Okay, switch it to this one to block.
Yeah.
All right.
Mirror Gallery used to be 5 mana for an artifact that says the legend rule just doesn't apply, so you can have multiple legends in play.
Yeah, legend rule was even more harsh back then too, so it was kind of cool. But...
Yeah, like back then, if your opponent had a legend in play and you wanted to play that legend, and with this set coming out, it was changed to this rule.
Yeah.
If you played the same card, they'd both explode. They both die.
Yeah, they both instantly die. And also, if you play one and then play one, they both instantly die as well.
Which is cute with the dragons, because if you have Kokusho in play and you play another Kokusho, they take 10.
Yeah, and you gain 10.
And you gain 10. Before this, it was, if there's a legend in play, no one can play that card.
Yeah.
So that was much more punishing, because it meant your opponent, if you have that legend in play, they don't get to play theirs at all, because you got it first.
Yeah.
So that's why, and then this card...
They changed it to, and then this changes it to where there's just no legend rule, essentially, which is really cool. But it's 5 mana for a card that does nothing in limited, so we didn't care about it. And now Mirror Gallery is 3 mana for an artifact that has 2 tap, discard a card. Create a token of target legendary creature you control, except it's not legendary. So it still does some thematic stuff with the legendaries being multiples.
But because we're playing a cube, there's only 1 copy of each legend, so the old version means nothing.
Yeah, I think this card's broken. It depends what kind of legends you have, obviously. But being able to turn any card and every card into your best legend in play every turn is crazy strong for only 2 mana and a card. I think this card is going to win the game on its own almost. By broken, I guess I don't mean like there's no way you should print it this way. I think that this is just one of the cards that dominates limited.
That's fair. And obviously you can like kill the creature, and something to know if you're ever playing this limited format, like you print it off or do anything, or you're with us playing it at some point somehow. Is only one of them is legendary. So if they kill the
legendary, you can't keep making copies.
You can't make copies of the tokens because they're not legendary anymore.
Yep.
So
that is nice.
Good to know.
Yep.
And if you kill it in response, they get nothing. There's also that.
Yeah, I just put this at bomb, I guess. I probably was overstating it at the beginning. It is very, very strong.
You gotta pick legendaries, and they gotta be worth copying for 2 mana and discard a card.
Yeah.
But that's not hard to do.
Right, exactly.
Alright, next card is Moonring Mirror. Also, I just want to say, this is even easier in this format than it is in the original one, because it's a cube where all the rares are there instead of just one per pack.
Yeah.
This is a cool cube, but playing it all at once would be difficult to logistically occur. What do you mean?
I have no idea what you mean by that.
I don't know what you mean. So it's 600. This version is 622 cards. So because we added 5 lands, you just take.
You printed them all off.
They're going to arrive soon. Printed them all off on cardstock. And what you do is each player randomly gets 3 15-card packs of random cards.
We draft them.
And you're not going to use all the cards, obviously, every time, but that's normal for cubes. You're supposed to have cubes that have a little bit extra above the number of players. That's normal. It's like 400 and something is the normal cube amount.
I'm not sure, actually.
I originally thought it was a 360, like the actual number, but I was learning online that that's not what most people do these days.
Is 360 the exact? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's exact.
Most
8
people
players,
don't do that.
Most people don't do that because you don't want to see the same cards every single time. And this is just a decent bit larger, but it's still a normal size, actually, for a cube. And you play it.
It's just the same size as like a big cube, yeah?
Yeah, it's just the same size as a big cube. How do you get that many players to draft it? You play with friends.
Yeah, we just have people that
we just talk to our friends.
We have friends.
We know enough Magic players.
Yeah,
we know enough Magic players to play it.
I guess that might be a difficult logistic for some people. I'm sorry, I didn't think about that.
Right off the jump, we have at least 6 people already who would do it in the snap of fingers.
And you can play drafts like this with 6 people.
6 players is enough to play.
A team draft is really fun.
And then I would just need to find 2 more if I really wanted to go 8 players.
Yep.
And that's not too hard because we have a decent-sized Magic community in the area.
Yep.
So you would section off portions of each cube as packs to the various players.
Of the cube, yes.
That's how you do cubes, yeah.
Yep. So you take 15 cards randomly face down from the whole cube, and you give them to people as a pack. And you do that 3 times for each person.
Or if you want to do the more fun pack style, you have 5 packs of 9.
9, yeah.
That's actually a way more fun way to do it, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, sometimes it works really well.
It can be a little bit messy.
It's really good with less people as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But.
Yep. Well, I've done it before. I printed off a custom cube where I designed all the cards from scratch that had my own themes to it and everything, and I played it a couple times with some people.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, and we did a vintage cube that was like that as well. Once.
Remember? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. It was fun. There's only, 6 people, I think, right?
No, we had a full 8.
Did we? Oh, yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay.
It was fun.
Moonring Mirror was 5 mana for an artifact. Whenever you draw a card, remove the top card of your library from the game face down. Beginning of your upkeep, you may remove your hand from the game face down. If you do, put into your hand all other cards you own removed from the game with Moonring Mirror.
So you draw cards, and you also draw a second card face down, exiled.
Yep.
And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you're allowed to swap them.
Hands. So you have 2 hands. And after you play this, you start building up your second hand. Beginning of your upkeep, you can swap into your other hand.
Yeah, so once you've played all your cards out of your regular hand, you're like, oh, dang, there's like 6 cards over here. I could have a new hand. Aha!
Yep.
Okay, sure. It's 5 mana. It's slow.
New one is drawing an extra card every turn, technically.
Sort of. Like, sort of.
Value-wise.
Yeah, value-wise. There you go. 5 mana for an artifact. Whenever you draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down. So same thing there. You may look at cards exiled by Moonring Mirror at any time.
That is a difference. The other one didn't let you.
And then tap, exile your hand face down, then put all cards exiled by Moonring Mirror into your hand. So it's the same idea almost exactly. It just feels a lot better to be able to do it whenever you want with the tap.
So much more flexible.
And being able to see the cards is so helpful and so nice.
You can go, I don't need this hand right now because this hand has a counterspell. But that hand has a naturalize, so if they play something, you know what I mean? Like you could swap in. And
so this feels a lot more like drawing 2 cards a turn.
Yes.
Whereas the other one kind of doesn't feel that way. Mm-hmm. The main problem with this is that 5 mana to draw an extra card every turn is not that good.
No, but it protects you from discard. And there's a decent amount of discard in play, like making your opponent discard.
It also lets you manipulate your hand size a little bit for like heck bent things in black-red that want you to have a small hand size. You can play things out of your hand and then play attack like with 0, and then you use the fact that you have 0 cards in hand
to your benefit, I would like you and then swap them. I would also like to mention something that you might not be realizing. This isn't just draw an extra card every turn. It's whenever you draw a card.
Oh, draw an extra card every time.
So it doubles all of your card.
Okay, that's good. That's much better.
Yeah.
At 5 mana, that would only be good in decks that are probably quite slow, actually. Yeah. But otherwise, it might be it definitely seems playable to me in limited.
Seems all right. Okay, Nekote was 3 mana for an artifact equipment. Whenever a equipped creature deals damage to a creature, tap that creature. As long as Nekote remains in play, that creature doesn't untap in its controller's untap step. Whenever a equipped creature deals damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and has equipped 2.
This card seems very strong, actually, for the time period. If you have anything that regularly survives combat, or if you have something with a ping ability, this can just like tap your opponent's entire board forever.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, this card is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then it also deals the extra 1 life for some reason.
Weird.
I don't know.
It's like +1/+0 almost.
Yeah,
not,
sort of.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's very odd. New Nekote is 3 mana, equip 2, for a artifact equipment that says equipped creature gets +2/+2. Whenever a creature is dealt damage by equipped creature, tap it. That creature doesn't untap in its controller's untap step as long as Nekote remains attached to equipped creature. Okay, so this is
here's a difference.
At least vulnerable to removal.
Yes. So yeah, Nekote, the original, you didn't need it on the same creature. They just stayed tapped as long as Nekote was in play, no matter what.
So they had to have artifact removal to get their guys back.
Yeah.
This one, if you kill the creature, you get your guy back. But it gives +2/+2 instead of the weird lose 1 life effect.
Right.
I still think this card is extremely strong. Working with pingers is less common in this because there aren't very many pingers in this set. There's a couple.
Yeah.
But
they're like
I think this card is still very strong. I'm not sure how strong, but at 3 mana, equip 2 for +2/+2, that's already almost at rate. Like, I already like that.
But with that extra ability,
this is crazy good. This is another one of those. We put this in any deck with creatures.
Yep. Next card is 9 Ring Bow, which is 3 mana for an artifact that has tap. Deal 1 damage to target spirit. If it would die, exile it.
Huh. This card does 0 things.
It sure it's
at 3 mana, it does 0 things actually.
You know what it stops? Soul Shift. Oh!
Yeah, no, I hate it.
Yeah, Soul Shift was so powerful, Nate.
That was
they
the
needed
problem.
counterplay for Soul Shift.
Yeah. Okay, now it is 3 mana for an artifact that has tap, deal 1 damage to any target. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Also very weak, I think. But being able to go any target means we can kill the snake tokens. We can still kill the spirit tokens like 9 Ring Bow old version could do. We can kill spirits, snakes, we can do the exiling, we can do the extra damage on stuff. And if we're doing nothing at all, it still deals 1 to face. Mm-hmm. So it at least does something instead of 0
I believe
things.
this is a sideboard card, but I think you'll really like it whenever you bring it in.
I think it's not quite that good, but I understand. I think it's unplayable, yeah.
Rude. Nodachi is 2 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has first strike, equip 3.
For the time period, this card's insane. It looks so shit. It looks like such trash.
First strike's so good, especially if you're allowed to block with it. Like,
yeah,
shit,
yeah. This makes your attackers in the air much stronger. This makes your blockers on the ground much stronger. The equip 3 is a little high, so I shouldn't say it's like very strong, but it is a lot better than it looks. This card is good for that time period. And now it is doing just slightly better in a way that I really like. 3 mana to cast, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+0 and has first strike. I like being able to re-equip so we can attack with our guy with first strike and then re-equip to our blocker. Mm-hmm. It feels a lot better.
I think that what I like about keeping it similar to what it was is how deceptively powerful this effect is on an equipment.
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be fun to...
Anybody who played Dominaria, there was a lance that did something like this.
Yeah, that's right. And it was just when it was attacking, too, but it was still so good.
Yeah, it was still really good.
It was 2 mana to play, 2 mana to equip, +2/+0 whenever it attacks, it gets first strike until end of turn.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's really good. And it's going to be fun, too, because you're going to be playing your like normal creature combat deck, and you're going to cast this, and your opponent's going to go...
That's not a creature.
Okay.
You did nothing to the board.
And then you equip it, and they think for a second, and they go,
like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be awesome. All right, next card is Oathkeeper Takeno's Daisho, which is 3 mana for a legendary artifact equipment that is equipped 2. Equipped creature gets +3/+1. That's decent rate, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, whoa.
Hey, yeah.
Whenever equipped creature is put into the graveyard play, so when it dies, return that card to the play under your control if it's a samurai. So whenever something's equipped with this, if it's a samurai, it just comes back when it dies. To play.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you just have a Daisho, and then, like, because you're a samurai with a Daisho, you aren't allowed to die? Is that how Daisho work in real life?
I don't think so, bud. Whenever Oathkeeper Tekeno's Daisho is destroyed, you exile the creature that's equipped to it. So, if they use artifact removal on this while it's equipped to something, you also lose the creature attached to it, though.
Cool, I guess. This card seems
balancing.
really strong.
No, this card's amazing.
Holy crap.
That's how they balance it.
All right, now it is 3 mana with equip 2. Equipped creature gets +2 or +3/+1.
It's just a good rate, dude.
Yeah. Whenever equipped creature dies, you may exile Oathkeeper if you do return that creature to the battlefield under control. So it works on anybody, but only once. Thank goodness.
So, it is a weird, almost drawback, but drawback. Like,
Yeah. This seems really strong. We're again putting this in any deck with creatures in it. You know, we like these equipment. They're nice.
Here we go. Naginata is 1 mana for an artifact equipment. It can only be attached to creatures with power 3 or greater.
It's so heavy.
You can equip it for 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has trample.
They knew what they were doing with this card.
Here's the joke. You can't put it on the small creatures, which is what you want to do with equipment generally, to make your bad creatures into good creatures, but the effect is powerful.
Yeah, like, making a big creature get big, and trample.
There you go.
Especially from like 1 and 2.
Now, the thing is, though, back then, there were less creatures with power 3 or greater as base power than there are now in overall. So, it's actually, you're going to might have a hard time finding something to put this on in this format.
Yeah.
But the card is good. It's been in other limited formats because it's good.
Has it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was in, I think, a Modern Masters.
Okay.
Because it's just, like...
It's not bad, yeah.
Decent.
Now it is 1 mana. It's the same thing.
Same exact card. But, like I said before, there are more creatures with power 3 or greater.
Yeah, I don't like this very much, actually. I think that it'll be a lot worse in this set, but it is a good card, so it's hard to gauge. I'm not sure yet.
I'm thinking the actual just like curve out aggressive
deck.
Yeah,
that's where it's
not
good.
the token one, but the one that's just like I'm playing creatures
3
that
drop,
are good
4
at
drop.
rate.
Lots of 3s and 4s.
Yeah, and this will just be like, okay, now all of them kill you.
Yeah, you have to block
For
them and
very
trade.
cheap.
You have to trade with them, and I also deal 2 damage to you every time you do. And then at the end, you're out of creatures, and this deals 10 to you.
Yeah. Next card is Orb of Dreams. 3 mana for an artifact. Permanents come into play tapped. Stop it. Stop doing this.
Whoa. I should have thought about this card when I was building Stasis.
You should have thought of this card when you were building Stasis, even though it sucks for you.
Yeah, really, really bad, actually. Now it is, instead, 4 mana for an artifact. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may sacrifice it. If you do, create a token copy of that creature. So it doubles your ETBs by having you play a non-token creature, and it's like, nah, here's another one.
Also lets you immediately get a dice trigger, and then you still get a
It also gives you a dice trigger. It also gives you a creature in your graveyard you can mess with. You can soul shift stuff right away. This card is cool. I don't know how good it is. I don't think it's very good. It is
Panharmonicon, but working way better with the things of this set.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I just don't know if that's good enough. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't care if it's good enough or not.
It's really cool.
Just like Panharmonicon, it really does not matter if it's good enough.
Yeah, no, it's just really cool.
Because it's going to be so much fun to play with.
Yeah.
And I think I need to think more about this kind of thing sometimes. You don't want all your designs to look like this, but having cards that you probably know are actually like not
traps,
great, but they're the kind of trap that's really fun to play with.
Yeah.
So, and if you make it happen, you're gonna feel so cool and good. So anyway, I love this card. I'm gonna play it. That's all that matters.
Sure. Yeah, I would also want to play with this card. I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah. Anyway. Ornate Kanzashi is 5 mana for an artifact that has 2 tap. Target opponent removes the top card of the library from the game, so it exiles it, and you can play that card this turn.
For the time period, that's drawing a card every turn. That's not so bad.
Kind of, except for whenever you hit cards that you don't have the colors to cast, you just can't do anything.
Yeah. It's not good enough. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying
that's what I'm saying as well. It's not good.
I understand the idea is to use your opponent's cards and play
There's also 5 mana and then 2 mana.
And then 2 is the problem. Yeah, it's bad.
Moonring Mirror is killing this card.
Yeah, just beating them up.
Yeah.
Now it is 3 mana for an artifact that has 2 tap, exile top card of target player's library. You may play cards exiled by Ornate Kanzashi, and you may spend mana as though it were any type of mana to cast spells this way.
Okay,
so
bro.
the thing that
you're struggling over there. He's struggling.
Okay, so the big 2 differences obviously are that you can spend any mana on it. So if you have blue mana and then you reveal a white card, you can still. The 2 big ones. I don't care about the 2 mana less. One's not big.
That's not the one.
Okay, we'll figure this
4
out. We'll get to that. Okay, so the point is, you can spend the mana right. Like we like doing the spending the mana right. That's so great. We love that. The big one is that we can do this later.
Yes.
So it exiles it forever, and then anything that's as long as Ornate Kanzashi's in play, we can cast those spells, even if it's like 3 turns later. Whereas this old version only lets you do it this turn. What's the other big one?
You can target yourself.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a big one.
Yes.
Targeting yourself to draw a card sort of is not bad at all. Yeah, this card's good. This card's just good. Any slow deck wants it.
If they destroy it, though, you lose all those cards.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Anyway, Herochi Hatchery was XX for an artifact that comes into play with X charge counters. You can pay 5 tap, make that many 1/1 snakes.
Yeah, at the time this was actually really good.
Yep.
In limited.
Play it for 4 mana. Next turn, tap it for 5 and get 2 dudes. And then next turn, do it
every
again.
turn.
Just keep doing it. That's
you don't have to use your hand either, so you get to keep your hand size matter stuff going well.
Yep.
You just keep making dudes.
Good card.
Guess what? It's not too different.
Not too different.
XX for same thing. Enters charge counters equals to X. You get 5 tap.
Please articulate. You're killing me.
Orochi Hatchery enters battlefield with X charge counters on it. 5 tap, create a 1/1 snake creature token with venom for each charge counter on Orochi Hatchery.
So the only difference is that the tokens now have venom. So.
It's still pretty strong, but the cost that it is went down in rate by quite a bit. Yeah. So this is a lot more expensive than it used to be to pay the XX and then 5 every turn. So it is worse, I think, by a little bit. Even adding the venom, it's just so much mana investment. Back then you didn't care, but now you're going to care that you're putting that. I think it's even significantly worse. So that doesn't make it unplayable. This is definitely good in expensive decks or slow decks.
So I think it's good in the ramp decks, but I think it's okay, not good or great, okay in an honor deck. It's just a lot of mana, but it really is paying off. Like, if you do play this for 4...
that has enough lands and be willing to slow down the game.
If you play this for 4 mana, it is giving you 2 honor triggers every time you activate.
Okay, so the big thing here actually is that in an honor deck, something that's trying to attack with these tokens, you're actually having a good time.
That's true.
So you're like, you got some venom guys, right? You made this turn, or last turn. That's because you've done this last turn and you're doing it this turn again. So you're like, all right, I got these venom guys. I made these other 2. I attack with these ones. You gonna block? Okay, they're gone for next turn when these ones come in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Open it up. Yeah, open mid. Stop having it be closed.
Pretty much. Pithing Needle's the same, which is cool because Pithing Needle's a good card. You don't play it in limited very often though.
It's a sideboard card. If your opponent has an activated ability you hate, but
probably a lot of activated abilities only.
But generally, it's like the token making cards. It's like you're just like, stop making tokens with your Orochi Hatchery. But I do not think you'll pick this or put it in your deck very often. There are a lot less cards. Like, I changed a lot of cards that I originally felt weird about changing because they're iconic and they had so much going on. And I changed a lot of them. Yeah. This one I didn't because
this card is still good.
It's still fine. It's gonna do. You could probably. It's a sideboard card, so we're just gonna leave it as a sideboard card that you care about having.
Yeah.
And this is a similar situation. Let's just slash it real quick. Rado Lantern is 2 mana for an artifact that has 3. Put a card in the graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library.
Yeah, terrible card for this mana and everything it does.
But what if I'm going through my deck too fast?
I don't care.
What if their Soul Shift is going to get a guy?
Oh, wow, 3 mana? You're going to keep up 3 mana to stop that? Oh, no, you're not, because it's a 1 mana artifact that just taps to do that. I still don't like it, but...
No, but I'm going to keep going forever. No win con.
You want to play Rado Lantern, no win con?
Yes, I do.
You want to play limited with no win con?
I do.
That's so impossible, actually.
Well, watch me do it. Running the War Club is 3 mana for an artifact, equipment, equipped creature. Oh, by the way, I was just saying it's like graveyard hate. I didn't actually like having sideboard options to do these kinds of things. Graveyard hate. Goryo's Vengeance, Shuffle Footsteps of Goryo, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's actually doing something against those decks. It's a sideboard card.
Yeah, sideboard card. I was joking about the other thing.
Okay. I didn't understand.
80% joking, sorry. 95% joking.
There you go.
That 5%, Running War Club is 3 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Equip cost is 5. This card's trash. Don't play it.
Oh, wait.
Oh, what? Whenever a creature comes into play under your control, attach this to it. For free.
For free. This card is good.
Good card.
This card is good.
It's a funny card, though, in the way this version's designed, because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It automatically
You can't re-equip, so you want to definitely do combat first, and then if they block with something, and they only had just enough to deal your toughness -1, maybe don't play your creature.
Yeah, something like that.
Because you don't want to kill your own creature to do it.
But it's cool, because it's like, you have to think about it. It's like, your last played creature will always be the one that has this.
Yeah. It's very odd. It should have been a May, but... So now it is 3 for equipped creature gets +2/+2, equip 5. Whenever a creature enters battlefield under your control, you may attach it. I said it should have been a May.
So
Guess what it is?
I did it.
Also another toughness. I like this card. It's going to be good. Put it in decks with creatures.
Put it in decks with creatures. Let's go. Scroll of Origins is 2 mana for an artifact that has 2 tap. Draw a card if you have 7 or more cards in it.
Dude, you know Library of Alexandria is broken, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, dude, I'd absolutely pay 2 mana every time for it. It's just so good.
Yeah, it's just broken. No, this card's terrible. You're essentially never having this many cards in hand in a constructed format, and this card is probably playable and limited if you have the big hand deck, but it's real hard to do that. Real hard. I do think that actually goes in that deck, though.
I don't give a fuck. This card's bad.
Yeah, real bad. Now it is 3 mana with 3 tap, draw a card, and as long as you have 6 or more cards in hand, spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. So this is like a really good card for like really slow decks, because the 3 mana and then 3-tap draw a card is actually just a pretty
decent
good
rate.
pretty
It's
good
a decent rate
for a really slow deck. And then the extra 6 or more cards in hand might actually happen in those decks as well, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing maybe nothing, but you're also playing lands. So
don't freak out about that first text. And I know you wouldn't, but remember, when you play cards, they're not in your hand anymore.
Yeah.
So...
the thing that you might want to notice is that in slow decks, if you just didn't have anything to play for the first 3 turns other than lands, this will actually trigger on your fourth turn.
Yes, it will.
You can play a 6 drop on turn 4 with this card.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, but
cool.
That's also, you have to try pretty hard
by accident. You have to not be playing other cards.
Play no other cards.
Yeah.
So you might get screwed out by getting curved on.
Yep. All right. Since the Divine Top is 1 mana for an artifact that has 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your library and put them back in any order. Then you can tap this, draw a card, and then put this on top of your library. It's been banned in multiple formats. It's a busted card.
Banned in
There's
Modern
so many different things you can do with it. It's
Commander,
everything. You're just fucking around all the time with this card.
I love Top, but it's also not fun to play against, as many people have noticed.
Oops!
Oh! We don't care what you think.
Yeah, it's in Vintage Cube. Like, it's fine.
This card's just really fun to play with. You may not enjoy playing against it, and it may take forever if your opponents don't know what they're doing when they're playing against it.
Imagine a world where I changed what this did, and people wanted to play. Like, they'll be like, "You're stupid."
I would.
I
would call him stupid. But no, this card's just really fun. It's not
breaking the game either. It's just really good.
It's just slightly annoying to play against. It's really slow whenever you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to draft this card so that other people can't, so that they can't go slow.
And then it'll go slow.
And then I'll go slow, yeah.
Shell of the Last Kappa is 3 mana for a legendary artifact that is 3. Tap, remove from the game, target instant or sorcery spell that targets you.
Whew!
Hold on, let's just stop for a second.
The spell has no effect.
3... This is a 3-mana artifact with no text. Legendary artifact.
Legendary artifact, no text. Because, so they're going to cast a spell that targets you when you have 3 mana up and
they see this in play?
They're going to do that? You think they're going to do that? Okay.
I don't think they're going to do that.
So first off, that first text actually does exist. It says, as long as you have 3 mana up, your opponent won't target you with spells. All right, cool.
It's not good, though.
But then it has more text for some reason. Look at this other text that is really, really not there. 3,
tap, sacrifice this. You can play a card removed from it without paying its mana cost. Remove from the game with it.
But that's never happened. You're never exiling anything. That's not what that's not what that first line of text says.
This card is nonsense.
It's straight up nonsense. It will never ever happen. So now we have a 3 mana for a legendary artifact that has 2 tap, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Copy that card, and you may cast that copy until end of turn. So we do have to spend the mana to cast the copy on this, by the way. Sometimes people don't always notice that whenever it's in target text.
Whenever it's formatted this way, yeah.
So that's just value every turn.
Very slow, very mana intensive.
And it only works on instant sorceries, so...
But you can cast your opponents if you have the colors.
Yeah, okay. And then 6, tap, exile it, or not exile it, sorry, sacrifice it, cast all instant or sorcery cards exiled by it. Without paying their mana costs. So over time, you're slowly casting 1 out of your graveyard every time, or maybe 1 out of theirs, and then eventually you're like, boom, cast all those again, baby!
It's very expensive and very slow, but very cool and fun. But also, because I like it, but also, I'm thinking generally you'll try and flashback your own spells, and if you have just 2 extra mana up, exile your opponents from their graveyard so that if you do get to the point in the game where you're allowed to pay 6 mana to do it, you get that spell too.
So I think this is essentially unplayable, but essentially is actually we're doing a lot of work there.
It's his name.
A lot of work there because big mana decks can make this happen. They can do this. They can go instants or sorceries out of your opponent's graveyards and then eventually just cast all the stuff in the world. That might be pretty good. But the deck that he's talking about trying to play it in one where you're trying to flash your own stuff back, you're going to be needing to want to cast the same card 3 times. Because you're going to be casting it, you're going to cast it again with Shell of the Last Kappa with more mana, and you're going to want 6 mana to do it again and again and again. A third time. I just don't think that'll line up at all.
I think totally fair.
I think the big mana deck might be able to play this. Might.
But... on the other hand, in the other world where you're cool and think like I do, it'll be very fun.
There you go.
Next. Shuko, 1 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0, equip 0. We could just slide it around and goes wherever we want it to go.
It has combo decks that have played with it because it targets something for 0 mana. So there was a card that if you targeted it with anything, it got bigger.
+3/+3. It's
+0/+3.
Oh, it's a different card. Oh, yeah.
And then you'd sacrifice it for life gain.
That's right.
And win the game because you had too much life.
Or you inside out fling it.
That's not what we did, though.
Oh.
Okay, either way, card had some constructed purpose. It's not anything unlimited. And it's also not good to do what it's trying to do, you know? What it's trying to do is be 1 mana, any something one of your creature has +1/+0 for whenever.
Whenever, yeah.
And that's just not that good. At 0 mana, it's also not that good, but it's at least a sweep thing that costs you 0 mana to recast. Yeah. It's a Moonfolk thing that costs you 0 mana to recast, and it doesn't do nothing while it's sitting around.
Yep.
So I think you might play this in decks that want to do those two things.
And I think that's the point of this card.
Yep.
Also, the Moonfolk decks have flyers, so the +1/+0 is a lot stronger in that situation. So you can go equip it, attack, then do your Moonfolk returning shenanigans.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's free. Next card is Shuriken. Now you may be saying, what do you mean? That's not a Shuriken. Shuriken are little stars. Stop watching Naruto for a second. Shuriken just means like a thrown bladed object. Like
any old bladed object.
Dummy. Learn your things. So kunai are technically Shuriken if they're thrown versions.
Okay.
Anyway, it's what I learned. I learned this. It's
you're
1 mana.
A learning boy.
And if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, I guess.
Shuriken he just knows he's not wrong.
Costs 1 for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature it costs 2 to equip. Equipped creature has tap, unattached Shuriken. Shuriken deals 2 damage to target creature. That creature's controller gains control of Shuriken unless you used a ninja to do it. Because you threw it at them.
Because you threw it at them, so they have it. Huh. I really like that.
Flavor-wise,
the card's not good.
No, it's good.
No, not at all.
But the flavor is
If you put
awesome.
it on a ninja, though, it costs 2 mana and tap a ninja to deal 2 damage to a creature. Yeah, no, that's not.
No, it's still bad.
Still bad.
Cool though. Very cool.
Very cool.
There's a new card that's like Ninja's Kunai or whatever.
Oh yeah, good card.
That's in the new set. It's 1 to play, 1 to equip, and 1 to tap and then sacrifice it to deal 3 damage to anything. That's pretty good.
That card's good.
3 mana to deal 3 damage.
For limit.
Because it's colorless too, so it's any deck.
Yeah.
And you can installment plan the mana.
Yep. And now we have Shuriken at 1 mana to play, 1 mana to equip. Equipped creature has tap, sacrifice Shuriken, it deals damage to any target. Sweet. Okay, so it's a worse version of the card we're just talking about. But
it costs 1 less mana to use.
Yep,
yeah.
1 and 1 to deal 2 instead of 1/1/1 to deal 3. And then it has whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may return Shuriken from your graveyard to your hand. Which I think is very strong, actually. I think this card will be very good.
So here's what's happening, y'all. You're going to their house to get your Shuriken back. You were playing with your friends, and you accidentally threw your Shuriken through their glass window, and now you're going to their house to get your Shuriken back.
You deal damage to your friends.
You're going to your house to get your Shuriken back.
Go to their house?
You're going to their house and getting your Shuriken back.
Okay.
You're climbing the fence into their yard to get your Shuriken back.
Okay.
You gotta dodge the dog, of course.
Of course.
Okay, it's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, good card, I think. Very good card, I think.
Okay. Slumbering Torah is 3 mana for an artifact that has 2. Discard a Spirit or Arcane card, and this becomes an X until on a turn, where X is the mana value of the discarded card.
It's bad.
Really bad.
Really bad, because you have to use cards to make this into a creature. Otherwise, it's a 3 mana nothing.
Until on a turn.
And it's only a creature until on a turn. What?
What?
How did this exist?
Let's move on.
Okay, now it is 3 to cast, 2, and it has 2, reveal a spirit card from your hand. It becomes a XX artifact creature until end of turn where X is the revealed card's mana value. Same thing, but instead of discarding, we just reveal it. And it still has to be a spirit, that's fine. This card's probably still not great, but sometimes it's amazing, you know?
Yep, so it's not that great, except when you're revealing for spirit triggers.
Or whenever you're revealing huge spirits.
Or whenever you're revealing
Iname
as one.
I think this is good in the cheats deck.
Oh, yeah.
You just attacks on turn 4 for a billion.
Yeah, any Myojin. Oh, that's what... It used to be 2/2, and I upped it to 3/2 because of that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want...
That's what I told you.
You told me to do that.
I told you to do that, yeah.
Yeah, so that people have more time to get the removal up.
Yep.
Yeah, reveal a Myojin, reveal Iname as one, reveal even just Body of Jukai.
And smack him for 10, you know, all right, buddy.
Buddy, friend.
Oh. Dude, you can turn it into a 2/2,
yeah,
and then attack them, and they don't know it's a 2/2.
Reveal it 10.
You can reveal it multiple times in a turn. They don't know, buddy. They don't know.
That's how you win with this card. So this is also a cheats card. I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Soratami Cloud Chariot is 5 mana for an artifact that has 2, target creature you control gains flying until end of turn, or 2, prevent all combat damage will be dealt to or dealt by target creature you control this turn. Why is this 5 mana and then more mana?
Yeah, that's a lot of mana for nothing. Like, not nothing, but like not enough.
It's
not even
definitely
close
not
to enough.
nothing.
Not even close to enough.
I think it's like 2 give something flying until end turn. That's a good effect if it didn't cost 5 mana.
Yeah. And the second effect is not useful, but like it's not nothing either.
Turn anything into an infinite blocker for a bunch of mana. Yeah. Whatever.
Bad.
Next.
Instead, we have a 5-mana vehicle,
Ooh.
who is a 6/6 flying. Whenever it attacks, return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hand. Crew 3. So we're going to be crewing and then attacking and returning the things we crewed with. Is the whole dealio. It's a 6/6 flyer for 5 with that effect. I think this is more of a drawback than you want it to be, as all these return to your hands are.
Yep.
That's kind of how they work.
But get your opponent's guys out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, your opponent's not going to want to attack when you have this in play unless it's good for them, like really good for them, because they're going to be bouncing all their creatures back to their hand. So, yeah, this card should be playable. I'm not sure how to build a deck with this. It's probably just a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
Probably
and
just
I think it's a
normal
mid-range deck where you've got some stuff you want to return.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So
you have some good ETBs.
The only thing is Crew 3 is like 1 higher than you want it to be for that to be easy to do.
I think this might be toxic is what I'm worried about, actually.
Okay.
Because it's hard to attack into a player with this. Not just hard, it's essentially impossible, maybe.
Okay.
And a flying 6/6 is frightening.
I think if we play with it and we go, this is too toxic.
Yeah,
I'll just change it. I'll keep everything the same except for the middle text where it says if it attacks you can just figure something. We can just figure something
else out there. I do like it though. It might be good and fun, but it might be toxic.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of other options.
And power level, it's definitely fine. It's definitely.
It could be like Crew 1, but you have to. But then it says whenever it attacks, return whatever creature crewed it to your hand. So it's 5 mana still.
But and then it's an insane blocker, yeah. But at 5 mana, yeah.
But at 5 mana. All right, next, Tatsumasa. The Dragon's Fang is 6 mana for legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +5/+5, equip 3. It's a lot of mana to play it, but you gotta understand, once it's in play, and I don't think it's a great rate, it's not a great card, but think about this. Once it's in play, ignore the middle text, because that's why people played it back when they played this card. 3 mana, this gets 5/5/5 forever. Like, you just keep doing that to all your things.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Big.
It's huge when it hits play.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's
but
powerful.
You're paying 6 mana to technically do nothing right then. And that's
you played this in limited easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. But this limited is more powerful than.
And it's also like it feels like such a bomb because it's like, oh, you always have a huge creature.
Yeah, and you're allowed. Sorry, let me get to the middle text. So it's 6 mana. Remove this from the game and make a 5/5 dragon with flying, and then whenever that dragon leaves play, you get to put this back into play.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
Yes.
Whenever that dies, not whenever it leaves play.
Oh, sorry. Whenever the dragon dies, so if they exile, you don't get it, or bounce it, you don't get it. But whenever that dragon dies, you get to put this equipment back into play.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it at instant speed.
In limited back then, you could also take turns off way more than you can now.
Yeah.
Like your 6th turn, you could take it off if it meant you were playing this card.
Yeah, this card's a huge bomb at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wouldn't be too against playing a card like this right now,
especially in that
today's
ramp deck.
limited. Well, I meant just in today's normal limiteds as well. Like, this is a good card.
It is a pretty good card. I think that if you've built a deck that won't lose when it takes that turn off, it could be pretty good.
Yeah. If their exile ability was less mana. 6 and then 6 again is rough.
Yep.
So it's the exact same?
Yep, exact same card.
Okay. I'm interested in playing this in ramp for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure where else, but I think it's probably playable elsewhere. It's a really strong card.
It's +5/+5 is a lot too. So
yeah.
if you're using it to equip.
Yeah, it's definitely a playable card. It's definitely doing some work.
Just really
I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
We'll see. Alright, Tenza Goto's Ball is 3 mana. For a legendary artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+1. As long as it's legendary, it gets an additional +2/+2, and as long as it's red, it gets trampled. The equip cost is only 1.
So you're supposed to give this to Goto, who is a red legend.
And it
so
gets
he gets all the things.
+3/+3 and trample. That's amazing.
It's huge for 3 and 1. I think this card is very strong in its limited, partially because even when you run out of legendaries, it only costs 1. It only costs 1 to equip to give +1/+1 trample to your red creatures.
That's really good.
Yeah, like you want to give it +3/+3 trample.
Here's
really
the problem, Nate. Here's what you're forgetting.
There's not very many legendaries. I forgot.
No. Am I playing red? What?
Oh, yeah.
Are you joking?
You're right.
Is that a joke to you?
So when you're not playing red, it's a +1/+1 only?
That's bad.
That's pretty bad. Alright, so now it is 3, equip 1, +1/+1 and trample, as long as it's legendary +2/+2. So we don't have to worry about the red to give it trample. Alright, yeah, this is great. This is a good card. It's almost a play it in a deck you have creatures in. It's definitely a play it in a deck with like
a decent number of legendaries.
With like 5 or more probably legendary creatures.
Oh yeah. Because that's amazing. Like +3/+3 and trample
It's
for
just
1 mana.
so
That's amazing.
good.
It's
So good.
But +1/+1 and trample to any creature for only 1 mana.
Isn't bad.
That's
exactly.
not too bad.
It's
3
very
mana
useful.
investment's a little bit much if it didn't have the extra text. I don't know how often you play it.
I don't think I'd play it ever almost.
Alright, next card is That Which Was Taken, which is 5 mana for a legendary artifact that has 4 tap, put a divinity counter on target permanent other than this. Each permanent with a divinity counter has indestructible.
Just gives things indestructible. I would call this a limited bomb just because infinite blockers are really strong, and then you give your bombs, like you're not bombs, your other bigger creatures that you want to attack with indestructible as well. Slowly just like build up an entire force of I will kill you.
Yeah, that usually and nothing can.
It's so expensive, but at the time that's fine.
Although we will say, if they destroy this,
nothing has indestructible.
Just has some counters on them.
Some divinity counters.
We didn't change it. Just the formatting works better in this format.
So now it's costing 4 tap, put an indestructible counter on a target permanent other than That Which Was Taken, which gives it indestructible, obviously. And then when it leaves the battlefield, remove all indestructible counters from permanents you control. So yeah, it functionally does the same thing. And I think that in this format it'll be a lot worse because of how much mana it costs. I'm not sure that Ramp will want it.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I'm not sure. But it might. So we will see on how that goes. It'll be hilarious if you can do this with Myojin.
Yeah, just keep copying my Myojin. Uba Mask was 4 mana for an artifact. If a player would draw a card, that player exiles that card face up instead. Each player may play cards he or she removed from the game with Uba Mask.
Exiled with Uba
this turn. I never read that part.
I also didn't read that part.
You can only play your cards immediately.
The same is true for them.
Right, yeah.
So that's the whole deal.
Ha! Ha! Oh, wow.
That's how they did it. Oh, because they were trying to say, hey, you can only play cards that you drew this turn. But how do we make sure you do that if we don't know what your hand is? Yeah. Oh, here's how.
That's a cool design. I didn't know that's what it was doing.
I also didn't know that. I thought it just was hiding your hand outside of the game.
And also saying no one has any hand size.
And also revealing them.
Yeah. Okay, this card is way cooler than I gave it credit for originally, and my design is nothing like this, so...
Okay.
Well, it's not very much like this.
Alright, so now it is 2 mana artifact. If a player would draw a card, that player exiles that card face up instead. Each player may play exiled cards they own. So it does the thing we thought Uba Mask did.
Yeah.
Exactly, actually. But it does not.
Which is why I made it only cost 2 mana.
Right, because Uba Mask, if we did what we thought, shouldn't cost 2 mana. Even if in its current form, shouldn't cost 4 mana.
So we've already printed the set off. It's going to arrive.
I actually like this version better, because that card's just weird, man.
No, I like both versions.
Yeah.
So mine also combos with cards that exile themselves and stuff like that, or any cards that exile them, because it doesn't have to just be the ones Uba Mask exiled.
Right.
You can also just play stuff that you flashbacked, and then you can play it again.
Or you got exiled however you got exiled.
This card can't exist in constructed formats.
Oh, it's way too good to be able to play all exiled cards you own.
In this format, it's just like, ooh, I'm going to be dummy grindy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and now I also know what my opponent has.
I think Uba Mask is probably barely playable, and only in decks with a lot of cards that exile themselves, you know?
Yep, I agree. But I really like that old design now.
Yeah.
Like, forcing everyone to play their cards immediately is kind of mean.
Yeah, because there was people that were playing Uba Mask in the Urza deck instead of Bottled Cloister. Yeah. And it kind of does some stuff like that, but it doesn't actually let you keep the cards. But it also forces your opponent to play stuff right now if they can. And if they can't, well, it's gone.
Also makes counterspells bad then.
Yeah, it didn't play them, so.
No.
Cool.
Yeah. Counterspells are good against Tron, so it's like...
Yeah. No, not Urza. Tron. Urza. It was...
Anyway, Umezawa's Jite is 2 mana legendary artifact equipment, costs 2 to equip. It is the best card in all of Limited ever.
That's the way I would describe it, yes.
Yep. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on this. You can remove a charge counter from it and choose one. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until on a turn. Target creature gets -1/-1 until on a turn, or you gain 2 life.
Man, that does not look like it is, like how strong it is. It really looks so innocuous. It's the big problem with Jite, is it just looks like nothing. It looks like nothing.
This card's nuts. But it doesn't look nuts. There's a couple things here. One, the counters go on this, so even if the creature dies or you remove it, the counters are still there. If this is unequipped from something, you can still use the abilities. And they're instant speed, so you do them at any time. So combat's a mess with this card.
That's the big thing, is combat is always a mess with this card. If you have this equipped to something, it'll get +2/+2. The creature can beat anything in combat, and it also can pick down creatures two toughness at a time, because it gets 2 counters every time.
It's just -2/-2.
-2/-2 to anything, or -1/-1 to this one, -1/-1 to this one. Like, you can ruin combat with this card
or
easily.
You just have like enough counters on it to just swing and then kill them because it's enough pluses. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then the game life can come up to where, like, you're in a situation where their crackback kills you. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have a Jite in play.
And I just gained 6
however much life I need to gain. The big thing that some people may not notice on this card is it says whenever equipped creature deals combat damage. It does not say to a player.
Right.
Anytime your creature enters combat, it's dealing damage to another creature.
And here's another thing you might not think about. So you're thinking, okay, I get that. So if it can do the damage in combat, if they're just like bouncing. No, if your creature dies, you still get the counters, and you can still use the abilities immediately.
Same turn. So say you have a 2/2 and they have a 4/4, and you attack with it into their 4/4. They're like, what do you mean? Block. And you're like, all right, my guy dies. There's 2 counters on the Jite. Your guy gets -2/-2. Now it's a 2/2 with 2 damage on it. It dies. We traded.
Like, this card's nuts.
It's so strong.
So strong. Okay.
Like, it can do too many things in colorless is the big reason why I would call it the best card ever in Limited. You should put it in every single deck you ever see. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Never don't play this card. It's unbeatable a lot of times on board too.
So I got a couple things to say before we show my version.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't fucking forget. Okay. Before we move on to my version, first things first, I originally didn't change it. Nick convinced me to because of how powerful it is. I knew it was powerful. I just thought it would be like a big bomb. I wasn't thinking about how it takes over every single limited game it's in. Yeah. And that's not fun. It's not like some of the other bombs. It's more like nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. It's suddenly nothing I do matters anymore. I really should just concede, but I'm not losing
unless
right now.
Unless you're a combo deck, I guess.
Like, and it's so annoying.
Which is why this is acceptable in Vintage Cube because there's
I like it in Vintage Cube. It's very fun.
Yeah. So I changed it. Another thing I was just going to say, fun fact, I learned what a Jite is.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, we watched the same video, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, probably. I assume we did.
Yeah. The Jite is a
hooking object because you couldn't have swords.
You couldn't have
bladed weapons. You could have bladed weapons.
In the Emperor's Palace.
Yeah.
So the guards had Jites. They were usually made out of wood, actually.
Yep.
And they could disarm.
This one's made out of iron, though.
They could disarm people with blades who were coming to attack.
Yep.
But they weren't blades themselves, so you were not threatening the Emperor.
This is the Ristic Studies video?
Yeah, Ristic Studies Kamigawa video. And also, they were clubs, so you could beat someone up.
Yeah, you could beat somebody up with it, and it looks like what Umezawa was doing right here.
Beat the shit out of
or maybe he stabbed somebody with it somehow.
Because his is metal for some reason?
Yeah, it's metal, but it's not sharp at the end, so you'd have to try really hard to stab somebody.
God, he's brutal.
Disgusting.
Alright, next is... So this is my version.
It is 2 mana and 2 to equip still, but it's completely different because, man.
Because, man, dude.
But whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many charge counters on Umezawa's Jite. And then equipped creature has, so it's that many instead of 2, by the way.
And it has to be the player.
Yep. And equipped creature has remove X counters from Umezawa's Jite, cast target instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard with mana value X without paying its mana cost. Exile it as it resolves. Alright, I think this card's pretty weak, but the whole plan on this card is similar to like he was saying with Umezawa himself. You're trying to just get some It's good with Splice. I don't know.
It's good with Splice because you can splice onto the thing. Well, no, you can't. You can't do that. You can only splice onto things.
Oh, out of your hand. You can't splice with this.
Or can you?
You want to read a Splice card?
We gotta read a Splice card. That's too far back. Pulling up my phone real quick.
Pulling up phones to read Splice mechanic because we're bad at this.
Yeah, I believe.
What did you mean to do with this card? Why did you think this was good?
Splice MTG.
As you cast yeah.
You can do it.
As you cast a spell, you can reveal a card.
Okay.
So this works.
It's as you cast
this
it.
and then splice something from your hand.
Okay, cool. That is not the plan. The plan was that it was mirroring the text on Umezawa.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Why are those 2 cards playable in this format? Why did you put them in this format?
Because you're discarding so many cards in black.
Discard. Okay, there you go. So you.
That's why it worked. That's why I didn't change Umezawa, because you're sacrificing stuff to trigger his stuff, and it's cool. This one though, just because you're discarding and recasting your spells is fun for no mana, and you can splice.
For no mana, okay. So it's just because you like the design. I don't think that it's that good then.
And then you just put it on evasive creatures to build up the counters if you need to. And stuff like that.
Yeah. I think this card is very hard to find a deck to put it in then.
Splice.
Yeah, probably.
So your evasive creature, your 1 evasive creature.
And it recasts your 1 cost, and you're fine.
Yep. And then you splice. Next, Wine of Blood and Iron is 3 mana for an artifact that has 4. Target creature gets +X/+0 until on a turn, where X is its power. Sacrifice this at end of turn.
That is a lot of mana. Holy crap.
Okay, but here's what you don't get, Nate.
What don't I get?
You can activate it multiple times in a turn.
Yes, I know. I can see that. That's even more mana, Johnny. So much more mana. Holy crap, this card is insanely bad.
Why is it a rare? What's
Dude, look
happening?
at his face, though. He's real going.
He's gonna get it's wine that's made of like blood and iron.
Oh, I see. All right. Wine of Blood and Iron now is a 4 mana artifact that has tap, double target creature's power until end of turn. The same kind of thing as over there.
This is crazy.
Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. The creature doesn't die? What? Or neither does Wine of Blood and Iron. Oh my goodness.
What?
So you can double a creature's power every turn.
We can.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't there like a 5 mana card that doubles all of your creature's power and toughness until end of turn every combat?
Okay, and then it also has 2 discard card, untap target, artifact, or creature you control. So you can target itself if you want to. That's the main idea here, obviously. Mm-hmm. But you can also give some of your creatures vigilance, or let them reuse some abilities, or untap.
Junkyo Bell!
This is just Junkyo Bell, but different.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
It's Junkyo Bell, but going tall instead of wide.
Instead of wide, yep. Yeah. Again, I don't think this card's great. Same as Junkyo Bell. Probably just not great, but at least it's got the extra ability that might actually matter.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe in a discard
also a
deck.
discard outlet.
I was say maybe in a discard deck you like it.
So it's just like, I will quadruple something's power.
We're getting to lands now, aren't we? Yes, thank goodness. Oh. My voice is going out.
Who what? Now we're on lands.
Yeah.
Who what?
Who what?
Let's start with Aganjo Castle, which is legendary land that enters the battlefield untapped. I will say it because it's relevant. Because most of these kinds of things usually enter tap.
Absolutely.
Taps for white mana, and you can pay white tap, prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt to target legendary creature this turn.
Yeah, this card gets legacy play. All the legendary lands like this that come into play untapped are just like worth playing because they're just plains but better.
Yeah, they're all just plains but better.
All
the
of
green
the
ones,
island,
the black one,
yeah. They're all basic lands but better. So
yeah.
Like the upgrade there isn't very big. Like prevent 2 to a legendary is really rarely gonna matter, but it matters sometimes.
But when it's Thalia...
Yeah, it matters sometimes.
So
yeah. We
didn't
kept
change
it. Yep, it's still there.
It's not necessary to change. It's not the most fun, that ability, the prevent, but it's okay. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Minima, School at Water's Edge is legendary land that taps to add blue. You can pay blue, tap, untap target legendary permanent.
Oh, this one's actually good, though.
This one's actually good, though.
You give things vigilance, or not in this format, but in other formats, you can untap like Sarah's Sanctum.
Sarah's Sanctum, yeah, that's true.
Or your Tolarian Academy,
or your yeah,
it's pretty good.
That's some shit.
Yeah, you can do some cool shit with
your
it.
Nykthos.
That's pretty good.
We're going. Obero, Palace in the Clouds is another legendary land that taps for blue.
It's untapped as well.
Yep, you can pay 1 to return to your hand.
Which could include the mana it taps for.
Yep. Ooh.
Oh, you kept it the same. It's not even good, though.
Yeah, none of these cards were necessary to change, so...
But this one just doesn't do anything. The other ones do things.
You think that.
Does it do something?
Well, there's hand-sized matter cards.
And then discard cards.
And then there's the one there's the one card that cares when you play lands to make tokens.
Okay. So it does a couple of things.
Yeah.
Barely.
But it does things. Shizo Death Storehouse is legendary land taps for black, and it has black tap, target legendary creature gains fear until end of turn.
We changed this one.
That's a pretty strong ability.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
We changed it to a different strong ability.
Menace.
Menace is very good.
Yep.
This is better than the other 2.
I agree.
That was also very good.
Tomb of Urami is legendary land that taps to add black to its mana pool, and then it deals 1 damage to you if you don't control an ogre. Cool. Why? All these other cards over here are all just like, no, we're fine.
Well, because the next ability is stronger than theirs.
Yeah, it's true. It says
destroy everything you've ever loved and
2 black tap, sacrifice all lands you control. All of them.
All of them. Every last one.
Put a legendary 5/5 black demon spirit creature token with flying named Urami into play.
It's pretty dumb. Like, it's a land that makes a 5/5. That's pretty sweet.
It's gonna make a 5/5.
Like, it's really strong for limited.
Effort to win.
It's really strong for limited, I think, actually. But what? We're just not taking the damage.
We just took off this is some nonsense text.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the rest of it's fun because, like, it's your last thing you do, right?
Probably.
And also does all sacrificing all those lands triggers all your
sacrifice effects. Yeah. I'm down.
Yep.
Very down.
Shinka, the Blood... I want to say how... I don't think we're explaining well enough how these are free. Like, the opportunity cost is so low because you can just replace a swamp with this and you're not losing anything if you never activate that ability.
Yeah. It's still just a land that taps for black.
When you do activate it, you're gonna be glad you had an option.
Yeah, I guess we just are not... we can't overstate that. It's impossible. Yeah. Because it's just... This is so free to play in your deck.
Shinka Bloodsweat Keep is another one of these. It taps for red, and this time it's red, tap, give a legendary creature first strike until end of turn. We kept it the same.
Yep.
Just good. It's the same thing as
we're just keeping these all the same.
Okina, Temple of the Grandfathers, same thing. Just taps for green. You can give a legendary creature +1/+1 until end of turn.
Very useful. Not as good as the black one.
No, but thumbs up. Cloud. Okay, here's where we're getting into the dual lands, or the
two-colored lands.
The two-colored lands. They the original ones are
terrible,
really bad. But these are going to be mana fixing. It's really important for the set. And I also have designed 5 extras because they only did the allied ones, and I wanted the enemy ones too, so it'd be easier to fix your mana when you're playing this. Another thing to say is what I plan to do whenever we do this cube is I plan to set these aside, all of these two-color lands, and put them into the number of cards that are being drafted immediately, always. So you always have these 10 to fix mana, and then the rest of the cards are...
So we set aside the right amount of number for everyone's packs minus 10, add these to it, shuffle that up, and give us packs.
Yep.
Sure.
Because I think that it'll make things play smoother in general. So the old cards were all tapped for a colorless or tapped for one of the 2 colors it is, but then it doesn't untap next turn. That's garbage trash.
Yeah, really, really bad.
That's so bad. It is not worth it. You are losing your land next turn. You do not get to have mana. You are going down a mana. It's just so bad on tempo.
So him saying it's not worth it is meaning this is really bad design. You would still pick and play these cards. Because they come into play untapped. Yeah. So they still keep you on tempo, and then they do fix your mana. You would just be very upset when you play this card.
They don't feel good to play. Right. They feel so bad to play. Anyway, so they're all completely different now. They are now...
This one is
You're good.
Cloud Crest Lake enters the battlefield tapped. Adds white or blue when you tap it. And it has channel for 3 white, blue. Discard it, draw 2 cards, and gain 2 life. So all of the new ones are going to be channel lands.
They're going to be entering the battlefield tapped, tapping for one of their 2 colors, and then channel for mana with both their colors involved, discard it, and do something.
Yeah, this cycle will be very good. I would say that channel lands are generally really good plan because you're able to use them in the late game for their channel effect, and whenever you need mana, you play them as land. Like, that's the best thing you can do with lands, is turn them into spells in the late game. And that's what we saw in Zendikar. We saw that it was really, really helpful to have flip lands that were spells sometimes, and that's essentially what this will do.
Other thing to remember is for all of your stuff that can return permanents to your hand, you can return these lands, and now they are a spell.
Yeah, you play them in the early game as a land, and then later on you're like, oh, I can sweep this up and then play it as an effect on my channel.
Exactly.
Great.
We love that.
Yeah.
Next card is Watervale Cavern, which is the blue-black version. That's all I got to say about it. We're moving on.
Blue-black version, yep. Comes play tapped, makes blue or black. All right, cool. Its channel is 3 blue, black. Discard it. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If you controlled that creature, create a token copy of it. So you can bounce something an opponent has, and that's all it would do. But if you bounce something of yours, you get a new copy token of it. So it essentially draws you a copy of something you have in play, and also gives you the ETB of that again.
Also, just like you can with all bounce spells, you could save your creature from a removal spell.
Absolutely, because it's 5 mana to do that, but that's okay with how it being on a land and it being doing so much other stuff. This card seems very fun to target your own stuff and very bad to target your opponent's stuff, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes it'll win the game.
Yep. Next one is Lantern Lit Graveyard, which is the black-red one.
And then we have it tapping for black or red. Come to play tapped. Channel is 1 black-red, discard it. Each player sacrifices a creature and a land. Pretty odd, honestly, in my opinion, because we're going to have to lose 3 things. They're going to have to lose 2 things, because we're going to discard this. We're going to sack a creature. We're going to sack a land. They're going to sack a creature and a land. So we only really want to play this in a deck that really wants to discard or really wants to sacrifice.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty, like, streamlined into only those decks.
Yep.
And that will like this.
Yep. Or, I mean, it's not great, but sometimes it'll be like, okay, each player sacrifices a creature because you have a big creature and I have some small stuff.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes you'll cast it that way. I meant you only put it in decks, like you'll only be happy to put it in decks.
Yeah, I think that this is the one that you're going to channel the least out of every single one of these. But whenever you like channeling this, it's going to be sick because it's doing so much.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you have the Netsuke in play, and it's just like 4 counters on it immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
5. It's 5. You discarded
this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 counters right there. So, Pinecrest Ridge is the red-green one.
Its channel is X red green. Discard it. Target creature gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. So this one I think is going to be the strongest one out of what I remember seeing. The trample is really what does it. Like, you're able to, I say this sometimes with these fireball it, you're able to just attack and then immediately kill someone as long as you have enough mana to dump into this. And that's really strong in the late game, especially if you're sweeping it up once you're at like turn 20 or something.
Very good. This one's really powerful, super finishy.
And even whenever it doesn't finish, you can use it to trade a creature, and it's still strong. But
Yep. Next card is Tranquil Garden. It's a green-white one.
All right. Its channel is 4 green-white. Discard it. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. This one's really expensive, which I quite like because the +2 attack is a lot for every creature you control. I think this card is going to be pretty good. I don't know, the main thing I have to compare these two in my brain are the sacrifice lands from Call Time, because there was one of those for every color combination, and they were also lands that turned into effects later on. And it didn't work at all like this. It loaded up 1 or 2 creatures to be a little bit bigger in life linking for a lot. And this is only a little bit more mana than that to pump everyone you have. So I think this is game ending a lot of the time, as long as you can do it.
As long as you have a board that it matters, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like all those effects.
Yeah.
The next one is Boseiju, who shelters all.
Oh, we have to do these before we get to the enemy ones?
Oh, sorry. They're not. Yeah, they're in a different. They're at the end.
Okay, we're going to do the colorless ones, lands that are not of that cycle, and then we'll move on to the enemies of that cycle.
They're there, though.
Okay.
Boseiju, who shelters all, is a legendary land that enters the battlefield tapped, and you can pay 2 life, tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool. If that mana is spent on an instant or sorcery spell, that spell cannot be countered by spells or abilities.
This is a constructed player for, like, whenever you have something that your combo deck
and you're trying
needs to resolve this instant or sorcery. Absolutely needs it, so can't let people counter it.
Otherwise, damn. Pay 2 life? Damn. Enters the battlefield tapped for just making some mana? What are you doing?
It's just that it was that good for that purpose, honestly.
No, of course. For constructed,
that's so much to do. So it enters the battlefield tapped still, but it taps for colorless without having to pay any life, if we want to. And when we pay the 2 life and tap it, it makes 1 mana of any color. And if it's spent on instant or sorcery, it can't be countered. So this makes any color for instant or sorceries. It's like a bad City of Brass for instant or sorceries.
Fuck! The border's supposed to be gold. Stupid. Dummy. It's too late now. Whatever.
Okay, well, that's a multicolored land right there, Bubby. And then the fact that you can still tap it for colorless without having to pay life is huge, in my opinion. I like this card.
I think what's funny about this one is the can't be countered text is probably not going to come up super often.
Pretty much never, I think.
But it's a City of Brass.
Still Boseiju.
It's just a bad City of Brass.
Yeah, it's just a bad City of Brass. Well, it's actually, like, it's a bad Coliseum, whatever that card is. Because the Coliseum is the one that comes play tapped, can make colorless, and then taps for pay life. You don't know about this card?
No.
Okay, well, there's a tapped City of Brass that can also pay for colorless without life.
I didn't know that.
But it still has the City of Brass text as an option.
It's not City of Brass text, then. It's
it's not.
Mana Confluence.
Yeah, Mana Confluence text.
Alright, next card is Forbidden Orchard that has tap, add 1 mana of any color. It's just Utopia. It's amazing. But whenever you tap it for mana, your opponent gets a 1/1 Spirit.
I'm sure you just reworded this to not be stupid. Or did you not reword it?
Uh-oh, Nate. What do you think it says? Wait, what's stupid about this?
Whenever you tap. It should just be part of the ability.
Oh, sure, yeah. Especially because it says 4 mana.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen whenever it becomes tapped by something else, though.
I'm aware. That's why it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fixed it. Oh, you also give it a colorless, though.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like this a lot.
So it's a City of Brass, but it gives your opponent 1/1s instead.
Not a City of Brass.
Not a City of Brass. Sorry, it's a...
Who knows?
Who fucking knows? Okay. Yeah, so it's only a drawback when you need the mana fixing, otherwise it's just a colorless.
Nice. So taps for colorless usually, yeah.
You would never pick the other one in this format, ever.
No.
But this one, if you're playing that weird 5-color deck, all these lands are like, well, they make any color.
Yeah, if you need it, you can give them a 1/1 for that purpose.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I'm down. This is cool. Forbidden Orchard, by the way, the original, is only useful in heavy combo decks. So that's the only time it's ever been useful. The big one that it's really good for, though, is Vintage. It's Oath of Druids because it gives them a 1/1 so that Oath of Druids automatically triggers.
Yeah, Oath of Druids says if your opponent has more creatures, or at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if
that player's opponent has more creatures, you get to reveal cards from the top of your library until you get a creature and then put that into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Forbidden Orchard, you tap it, give them a creature, now they have more creatures.
So I can go with the druids, go get my big creature.
And clearly my Oath of Druids deck does not play any creatures but Massive Bomb.
Yeah.
Anyway, God's Eye, Gate to the Reikai. Legendary land, it taps for colorless mana, and whenever this is put into the graveyard from play, you make a 1/1 colorless spirit. So if you sacrifice it.
Sure, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
I don't know, man. It's the same, isn't it? It leaves a battlefield instead of putting into a graveyard from play.
Yeah, bro, we're sweeping this. We're moonfolking this.
We're sweeping moonfolk this. This is really good, actually.
Yeah, right?
This is my favorite to combo with.
Yeah, isn't it sick? It's super fun.
I really do want to play a combo moonfolk deck and just
do.
screw with God's Eye on now.
Yeah,
like,
you
brap,
do.
brap, brap, brap,
Yeah,
here's my ones.
Yeah, you do.
It sounds fun.
I'm glad. This card's awesome.
Yeah.
But it is colorless.
Wait, did Maloku make spirits that flew?
They're not spirits.
Okay, good. What are they?
Illusions.
Oh,
because she's a moonfolk. Moonfolk are anti-spirit.
Okay. It makes sense.
Hall of the Bandit Lord is a legendary land. It comes into play tap. It has pay 3 life. Tap it. Make a colorless mana. If that mana is spent on a creature spell, that creature gains haste.
A lot of people in EDH know this card because it's a
Busted.
haste maker in every color.
You just now you have haste.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yay. It's similar but better. It does the thing where we can pay colorless, and also the thing where the mana is any color whenever we pay the life. So it's another bad Colosseum.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. It's even worse than the old one. But this is even worse than the other one on life.
Yeah, but it's better.
So mana fixing.
But giving creatures haste is way better than uncounterable instant sorceries.
Yeah. You're right.
I know I'm right, Nate.
You're right, but 3 life is more than 2.
Oh. Koro, Center of the Sea, is the exact same card.
I like this
taps
card.
for colorless or pay 2, tap, each player draws a card.
It's interesting because it's only really actually like smart to play with this card in a deck that like your cards are always better than your opponents. So it's only really good in like slow decks against not slow decks. It doesn't mean you won't play it. Like you're still gonna play it. It's a colorless land. You'll play this in a lot of decks.
Yeah.
It's just when you pick it depends on what kind of deck you're playing.
Yep, that makes sense. Mirror in the Moaning Well is legendary land that has tap, add colorless, or 3 tap, sacrifice a creature, gain life equal to its toughness.
I've played with this card before.
Card's cool.
In Constructed.
I know you have.
With Shuko.
I know. I know.
It's the same?
Yep.
Alright, cool. It's good for the sacrifice deck and nothing else, I think.
Land that's a sack outlet. We like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's good in that deck. We were happy to have it.
Yep. Untidake. The Cloud Keeper is a legendary land that enters the battlefield tap, and you pay 2 life, add 2 colorless mana, and you can only use that mana for legendary spells.
Suck.
So
we give
you
it
can't use
colorless.
it for anything else.
What are we doing? You give it the colorless text, and the mana's any color. It's the same thing he keeps doing every time, guys!
You can't keep getting away with it!
It's pretty good, though, I think, here. Because legendary spells are going to be more common in this, and being any color means you can just play legendary spells no matter how difficult they were to cast. This card seems very good.
Yeah, I agree. It's awesome.
It was shit, and now it's great.
Yeah, we love it. Tendo Ice Bridge comes to play with a charge counter on it. You can tap it for colorless, or you can tap and remove that charge counter to make 1 mana of any color.
This has been riffed on many times.
It's a cool card, actually.
It's a cool concept, in my opinion. It's always useful for combo decks. I like it a lot. And it's similar, but we get some extra charge counters out of the deal whenever Tendo Ice Bridge enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, put a charge counter on Tendo Ice Bridge. With tap, add a colorless, tap, remove a charge counter to make any color. Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
It's going to be really strong all over the place, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. You play this in almost every deck.
Yeah. Play in a lot of decks.
Sounds great.
That's those lands, except for the new ones. New ones!
All right, so there's only... Why is this blank? Anyway.
It's blank.
So you're only seeing 1 card because I'm not changing an old card into a new card. These are 5 brand new channel lands added so that there would be all 10 2-color combinations for channel lands.
Okay, this first one is the red-white one. It's called Bleeding Cliffs. As a battlefield tap, adds red or white when you tap it. Channel is 3 red-white. Discard it to make 2/1 red warrior creature tokens. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. We like lands that turn into creatures. I don't know. Good stuff.
Nice. Get your honor, kill your opponent. We like that.
Yeah. Boil River Pools is the blue-red one. Enters battlefield tap, adds blue or red when you tap it, and has channel. 1 blue-red, discard it. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. I like that it only hits ones you control and is cheap instead. So that's going to be like doing... you can copy something that has a whole bunch of
splice stuff on it.
Splice stuff
Still
on
3
it
mana,
since
but
it's cheap. Like, it's relatively cheap. So you can copy something that has some splices on it, and it'll copy the spliced effects as well.
Yep.
It's pretty fun. I don't know whether it's good, but it's a blue-red land, so I like that.
Yep. Next one. Ever-Living Overgrowth. And just battlefield tapped. Say the words. Why am I doing it? You should do it.
I don't know. It adds green or blue. It has channel, 5 green, blue, discard it. Look at the top 5 cards of your library and put a permanent card from among them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Love it for cheats. It's an expensive cheat effect, but it's a land whenever it's not that. This is great.
Yep.
This is, like, really good.
Yep. We love it.
Yeah, love it.
Thumbs up.
It's fun. Look at the top 5 and find a cheat target. And even if you don't find a cheat target, you probably got something. There's a 4/4. Ha!
Aha! Next card is Follow Farmland.
It's the black-white one. Taps for black or white, and it's battlefield tapped. Channel is 4 black-white. Discard this. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Also okay for cheats. Also okay for just some value. It's not bad. It's black and white.
Yeah.
Land. You'll be like, these dual lands are always good is the thing. No matter what, they're going to be good.
You're going to be good.
These are going to be good no matter what.
If you're these colors, you can do it.
Yeah. Secluded Death Site. Enters battlefield tapped. Makes black or green. Channel, 2 black, green. Discard it. Mill 4. Then return a non-land card from your graveyard to your hand. This might be the best one. It's just, it's returning any card from your graveyard other than a land. This is always going to be something good for 4 mana, and it taps for black. Yeah, this is just, the thing is this is just the best card in your graveyard, plus the best top card out of your top 4. Or, like, not plus, but...
Oh, out of the top... It's the best card out of your graveyard or top 4.
Graveyard or top 4 gives you best card out of that for 4 mana whenever you don't need a land, you know. This is a really good card. This is the one I like most, I think.
Yep, that's the end. That's all of them.
There we go. Sweet. Hey, we did it. Haha. Woohoo.
And the cube cards will be here anywhere from the 28th to the 3rd of March. So the 20th of February.
Hit us up if you want to play.
Hit us up if you want to play it. I'll be sleeving it up and getting it ready for use. And I will be collecting data about it. What I'm thinking about doing is getting everyone to, like... So I might have to print out... Well, I don't have, like, a paper printer.
Say cards you like or dislike?
Yeah, so okay. I want to be like... I want to actually, like, do a survey when people play it.
What are your favorite cards that your opponents played, you played? What are your least favorite cards you played? What are your least favorite cards your opponents played?
Yep. Gives you a good stuff to also talk about in the video whenever I do the actual, like, scripted video.
Yeah, absolutely.